Guys, it's Friday night, it's Rise Above TV, 8 p.m, Double L Andy PG.
Word to your nan.
Rise above, generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise
Fooled you a little bit there. It's not a live show, it's a recorded one tonight. Me and PG have just had an excellent night recording stuff for Patreon.
That's some spicy shit.
This is Friday's show. We just recorded Sunday night show, so you've got time to sign up to Patreon. Let me just get the QR
Trust
code
me,
on the
you're
screen.
not going to want to miss this one.
Because we've been reviewing this stuff from this channel called Mysterious Middle East, and they've just...
It's pretty hardcore.
It's pretty hardcore, and they've just put a lot of stuff together. You need to get on the Patreon right now.
It almost explains the level of retardation that Rabbi Shmuley is at.
If you're not on Patreon, you might not even know who Rabbi Shmuley is. Yeah, so
Again,
you're
missing out there.
So yeah, this is a recorded show tonight. We can have a little fun with you for 10 minutes. Next week we will be back live, live in the studio. Tom of Wisdom and Mushrooms. He's not going to be giving so much a seminar on mushrooms. He's actually going to be telling us his story and why he started doing this work with mushrooms. And some of the stories of how it's actually been helping people, and he's going to be doing.
And apparently, he's going to be DJing on my new fucking hardware.
We're going to have
here.
We're going to have some like sort of deep tech house, a genre of music we haven't had on Rise Above before, which we'll be looking forward to. And I've told him he's got to play like underground tunes, so we don't get any copyright.
I mean, Lance has just informed me that I won't be taking my system home. No.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there. Yeah.
Is it still there?
Well, I haven't looked. I don't really go over there. So yeah, make sure you tune in next week for the live show. We've got some other really cool stuff lined up in the next few weeks, including
Mate, we've got
guests.
giveaways. We've got promotional items coming. We've got awesome guests coming up.
Yes, we've got some really interesting guests. I'll tell you right now. I'm not going to put a date on it because it's still floating because he's got other commitments. But we're actually going to have a guy in the studio who I know through Combat Sports, who is a real life close protection, anti-grooming sort of like what's the word?
Say it how he lands. He's a fucking paedophile hunter,
he's
mate.
a paedophile hunter. He's an anti-grooming bounty hunter, and he's going to be coming to the studio telling us what it's actually like on the front line.
Is he a Pakistani grooming?
We're obviously going to be talking about that as well. We're going to be hitting him with the hard questions, and he's really excited to come on the show and tell us about stuff like that. So yeah, now obviously apart from signing up to Patreon, so you get the most out of Rise Above
for a mere $3.33 a month.
That's £3. You get your Sunday night video. How long was the video we just recorded?
I think it's like 1 hour, 48 minutes.
Best part of 2 hours. You get a Wednesday night video as well. We chat with you guys on the Patreon, so make sure you sign up.
We can say so much more than we can say just on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube.
Big shout out to Liberty Silver Designs, our sponsors. Get on their Facebook, order your bespoke silver, and obviously
we're wearing some now, actually.
We are now inside the 3-month window to the next big event. Your chance to come and meet the people that you've been chatting to in the comment section. Come and meet the Ramish community. Come and chill with us. Come and party with us. We're going to have an amazing time at Hotel Celebrity in Bournemouth.
Mate, we've got Martin Leakey, Daddy Dragon. We've got
Allegedly Dave Murphy.
Allegedly Dave. We've got a surprise guest, external appearance from Jason.
Virtual Jason Arcades, we're not flying him in. He's joining us virtually, and we can have an awesome 3-way chat between him, Martin Leaker, allegedly Dave. Loads of Q&A, Raw Academy, wisdom
Party
of
every
mushrooms,
night.
Party every night.
Ramish food.
Entertainment during the day. Outside, we've got a big stretch tent and a nice outside arena.
There's going to be some guests there selling some of their Ramish
Yeah,
merchandise.
we're going to have
well.
stalls. We've already got the first stall, which is Mushroom Lady. She's going to be selling her tinctures.
Excellent.
So get your tickets now. We've even got speed dating. So if you're like for the last 3 or 4 years, you're like, I can't, going out and being around normies is bad enough.
If you're a lonely peasant.
If you're a lonely peasant and you think, I can't be bothered to ask people if they've been speared or not, like I need to meet someone, come to a Ramish event. Everyone there is a pure blood, and we're doing speed dating. We've got music, entertainment, talks, seminars, panel discussions. You get the idea. Scan the QR code.
Hell, we'll be there.
We'll be there, and you get to party with us. We don't just like DJ or MC or do a talk and then fuck off. I stay there until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, partying with everyone.
Ordering takeaways for
Yeah,
everyone.
ordering gyros, gyros for everyone. Big shout to
Gyroscopic meat in Peterborough.
big shout to the Ramish community that ate the gyroscopic meat that I ordered. But there'll be food this time.
There will be.
The manager's actually spoke to me now. He said we'll have things like fish and chips, burgers, vegetarian.
I'll review the menu, Michael.
Okay, yeah. So apart from get your tickets for the weekend, come and see us in August bank holiday weekend.
You know fish and chips is Jewish, right?
Of course, it's Jewish food. Apart from get on Patreon, what more do we need to say to the Ramish community?
Just tune in. Give us some money on Patreon.
Yes.
Buy some merch.
Yeah.
Buy a ticket.
Support us. Support your local podcast. Tonight we've got a selection of
Your
classic
local
Rise Above.
podcast. We have people tuning in from fucking Australia and New Zealand.
Mate, do you know we've literally got someone coming from Thailand, an Australian person coming from Thailand. They bought their ticket. Big shout out to Master Milton.
Michael.
He said, I could do my visa run to Malaysia or I could do it to Bournemouth this year.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well,
Let's do that.
he's coming all the way to the event, all
Excellent
the way
choice.
from Thailand.
Excellent choice.
Yes, we'll see you there, Master Milton.
I'll buy you a drink, my man.
Yeah, we'll both buy you a
We'll
drink,
buy you a
mate. We'll
drink.
sort you out a t-shirt as well. Oh, yeah, and big shout out to everyone last week. We forgot to mention like how fun last week's show was.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. As you can tell,
Sinstar Dread was off his face.
Yeah, his set was all over the place. Amazing tune selection, mixing with Fuck's Fingers, but not quite so great.
No.
But you know those things happen. Listen, we had a great fun in the studio last week, and so if you want to come and have fun with us, make sure
Grab your ticket.
You get a ticket if you want to come and taste some of that. Yeah. So guys,
There's weekend tickets, day tickets. You know,
Yeah,
just turn up to the
tickets
evening,
start-
wherever
tic-
you want, guys.
Tickets start only £15, 1.5. And they go
Also,
up to
guys,
£50
if you're
for
in
whole
the shit
weekend.
for money and you want the whole weekend ticket, just email the show. Lance will.
Yeah,
He's
I
got a
said it
Jewish
last
fund there.
I said last week, like if you're waiting for money to come in, you're worried you can't get a ticket, send me an email. You want to give me a deposit, paying installments. It's fine.
they are
We're
selling
all-
hard and fast.
We're all mates here. We're all mates here. We can always squeeze more people in. No one gets left out. This is Rise Above. This is the Ramish community. Come on.
Right, well, let's wind it in, Michael, and we will see you guys on Patreon this coming Wednesday night.
And Sunday, and we'll be live next week. Word to your mofo
Word to your
nan.
nan.
Word-
Oh, there's a lot to digest there. Look at
These
this.
are two from one of our favourites, our only Islamic mathematician.
It's got Grandmaster Ginny there.
Deep bait memes. Now, this is a response to, I think there was a couple of articles that these were prime Clown World articles a couple of weeks ago. And it was something along the lines of young white males should not work out to stay healthy to avoid heart attacks. And then there was another one with something along the lines of basically drinking Coca-Cola and eating fast food has been proved to not be bad for you, or something just stupid like that in the Daily Mail. Yeah, but it was basically like, oh yeah, exercise is the prime cause of sudden death.
Well, yeah, we know why that is, don't we? Tonsillitis.
Yeah, yeah. But obviously they can't say that. So yeah, these are two prime memes here from Deep Bait Memes. Stay safe, stay healthy in 2023. Dr. Savile approves. And Men's Health build a beach body, end up looking like Tyson Fury on off season.
Stare at the metaverse, eat shit, and don't work out. Is that the general?
Basically,
that's the gist.
It's the safest way, because anything else, you risk heart attack, deep vein thrombosis,
Coinciditis,
sudden
Pfizer face.
Pfizer face, sudden adult death syndrome.
There's a whole array of
massive
nasties coming to waiting for
massive array. Auntie Koviet killed it here with this one.
We've got live memery just coming in, by the way.
Oh, wow.
That's been a while.
Who's that?
That is Justin Bieber.
Who's it from?
Oh, from Johnny Fogg.
Oh, let's have a look. let me move that over.
This is a good bit of Pfizer face,
See,
ladies
this is
and
what I'm
gentlemen.
talking about. I was only trying to help. I can't sleep. Oh dear. Yeah, that is. Has he used the mirror effect on his face there?
No, I think it's a real picture.
Is that
Don't try and break down the mimetic magic.
So the good old days of Rona spasticism, when you lose your business and home, but at least you didn't get a cough with a minus. Well, we shouldn't say that. Oh, wait a minute.
You're bordering MM there.
But yeah, bored at M&Ms. So right on the right, we need to address this guy. Who's seen this guy's videos? Dr. John Campbell.
Yeah.
Now the funniest thing is about this dude is all through the early days of the Soviet Union, he was a staunch Soviet. He was picking apart the facts all day. Now he isn't actually he has a PhD, but he wasn't a GP. He was a guy that was a top nurse, and he got the qualifications to say, I have a PhD, so you can call me a doctor, but he wasn't a practicing GP, right? So that's important to say. Now, the important thing is,
he was qualified.
He has medical qualifications. Yeah. He has a PhD in medicine. Now, the thing is, all through the first season of the Soviet Union, he was telling everyone to go to the Britney Spears concert. He was going through the daily infection rates and all that kind of stuff. But it was, and obviously he was the hero of the Soviet Union. All of the Soviets loved him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dr. John Campbell, 2-3 million subscribers. He's the one that he really looks at the facts. But the funny thing is, like, slowly but surely, as he carried on looking at the facts, he was
tapestry unraveled.
Yeah. A song stuff was whistling in the wind, and he started to change his tune, right?
What's the only thing you can do once you get down to the nitty gritty of the Soviet Union?
Well, he either had a choice.
Just sort of read the small print.
Yeah, basically, he started reading the small print, and after he read the small print, he had a choice. He's like, I can just start lying, which he was already doing without realizing. I can either shut off my YouTube, or I can start telling the truth. But he slowly converted to the truth, very, very slowly. But the funny thing is, now that he's saying about the terrible effects of the people that went to the Britney Spears concert, and also looking at the stats of the testing of the contents of the Britney Spears syringe, as he's doing that, now all the people that previously would have been going, oh, he's a hero, Dr. John Campbell, now they call him a conspiracy theorist, and they say he's not actually a doctor. Right, he's just a nurse that has a PhD, right? Now, I can tell you, I said in 2020, the conversation that I had with my GP about the Soviet Union, and he admitted that he basically didn't know anything, and I knew more than him. But the thing is, this guy did know stuff, and he really did look at all the facts. It's been an amazing transformation. But the thing is, now it's like every stream he makes, he's like, oh my God. And it's really good because
how many times has he been to a concert?
At least twice.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's double speared.
And the funny thing,
not quite had the triad.
I don't know. He maybe has. From judging by his age and his previous adoration,
previous Soviet beliefs,
Soviet beliefs. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he's been to 3 or 4 concerts. But the thing is, there's an amazing little montage of his face, how his face changes over the years, like the 2 years, and they show like 10 seconds of each video, and he's going, yeah, when it's all good, when he thinks the Soviet Union's real, but then he starts to realise, no.
Welcome to Clown World.
Yeah, no, he's sort of like got one foot in clown world and he doesn't really know what to do. But it's poetry in motion.
So he's almost a Coviot defector.
But people are saying that maybe it was all part of his script.
I was going to say, you've got to be careful of people who switch the sides too easily.
But it's hard though, because like you don't want to be like that, because
It could be another wake up advertisement for the NPCs to try and, you know. But they've gone the other way, and everyone's just calling him a tinfoil.
not everyone can go
conspiracy
directly
theorist.
from A to Z. They have to. Some people have to be led down the garden path.
Oh,
from
it's
A
a
to B to
treacherous
C to
trail.
D. Yeah. So you know,
Especially for a mature NPC, it's like, you know, one that's really into it.
yeah. So that's the thing. I mean, let's talk about it. Right, a mature NPC, right? They can't actually just be given some information, and they can't just process the
Otherwise,
information
you
themselves.
revert back to slide
Yeah.
from the start of the show.
Because of all of the extra clan content that they've got circling around their head, when shown with authentic information, they basically can't process it.
They implode.
Yeah. It's clan content overload, and that's why it's so important to have your own piece of Ramesh technology to catalyze these memes. Because if you don't, when authentic information comes your way, you won't be able to process it properly. And that's basically what happened. So those people, they couldn't just look around them and think, this isn't right. They had to watch Dr. John Campbell over a period of 2 years, slowly explaining that the Coviot Union was what they thought it was, and then slowly, step by step, changing. They couldn't go straight from A to Z. They have to go all the way through the alphabet. But hey, everyone's on a different journey. Everyone is on a different path. What can we say? If you need Dr. John Campbell to do it for you, then he served his purpose.
I'd love to talk to a proper Coviot defector, someone who was fully involved, and then got out.
When did you first realise that you were on the wrong side of history, comrade? What was the first
That'd
time?
be a great interview, wouldn't it?
It would. Now, do you remember we were talking to Sheep Farm, whenever it was, a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
before it got Al Gored, and we were talking about Pfizer face,
Yeah.
and about people like fight or flight response.
Yeah.
And I think you said Pfizer or flight. I said fight or Pfizer. Well, Auntie Coviot was listening. It got changed eventually into Pfizer or flight response. So let's just break this down. So if you're suffering from Pfizer or flight response, the symptoms are a blocked third eye, a shitty blue mask, children's stickers, and wobbly elbows coming from cowardice. What do you mean? Coward illness. I think she made a new word.
Cowardliness.
I think she made a new word there. Cowardliness. Yeah, so this is an excellent one.
Guest speakers at the next Rise Above Live in the Flesh August Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender, featuring Martin Liedtke, Wisdom of Mushrooms, Graham Moore, Richard Ryder, Toroidal Dynamics, Inspector Veg, Marcus Payne, Ryan Sanders, Tom W's, and allegedly Dave Murphy. You won't want to miss out on these speakers exposing the peasantry that is Clown World. Exclusively at our Rise Above Live in the Flesh Part 2 Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of August. Don't be a peasant and get your tickets on our website today.
Time splitting off like, oh no, I want to give my idea away for free, and then other people are like, oh no, but we can make some money off it.
Yeah.
It still happens.
They say money is the root of all evil. There you go. I'm going to shout out to Kyan Cyan. Mate, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, dude, in the chat here. I'm not sure if somebody said it's your birthday, or maybe not. Just shout out. So are we moving on? Next slide.
Yeah, well, the next thing we're talking about Prague. This is the big one.
So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is boots on the ground. Me and Becky S investigating Prague World's Fair sites. So, do you want to explain this image, Miss Becky?
Yeah, 1 minute. I'm just making sure I've got it up on there so I can see.
Yeah.
Okay, so the official story. The General Land Centennial Exhibition was a World's Fair held in 1891 in Prague, and it marked 100 years since the first industrial exhibition held in 1791, and that's what we were just talking about. It was their 100-year anniversary. So what a time to take over and invert everything if you were going to do that. Officially, so where are we? These were all buildings that are still there. So if you scroll through, officially there are 3 remaining World's Fair buildings. This is the biggest one.
Shout out to Cherie in the chat.
Oh, hey! Where's the lighter?
Here you go.
Thank you. I wanted you to talk so I could have a cigarette. I've been talking for 2 hours.
I can talk. Okay, yeah, I
Look,
can talk.
There's notes there.
That's all day over the studio.
But yeah, so you've got these 3 buildings.
Go on.
Where's the map? Where's my map gone? Where's it gone? Why is it not in there? Oh no, it's after that. Right, it's after the fountain. Right, okay.
So I scroll on?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, this is the I can't even say it. Promovsky.
Yeah, we won't.
something
It's in
palace.
Czech, right? We won't butcher the fucking language.
No.
But right, yeah, okay, go on. You obviously them.
Thanks.
Right, so we went here. So interestingly enough, when we went here, if you guys can see the cursor on the screen, this clock tower here wasn't present. Okay, they'd taken that off. There was all scaffolding all around it along this backside here, and they were quote unquote renovating it. See either side of it, you've got these wings that come out. One of these was completely demolished, like absolutely.
Yeah, these are all pictures of what it was like before.
Yeah. So okay,
so if
right.
you scroll to the next one, then
okay,
you've got
so-
Hanau Pavilion.
So this would have been World's Fair.
Oh no, the next one is the Petrin Lookout Tower.
So this what it would have looked like at the World's Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So there we go. And then, okay, this is the tower.
Where's the ashtray?
Oh, it's here. Sorry. That's what Lance does. What's this called? The Petrin.
Petrin Lookout Tower.
Petrin Lookout Tower, which is obviously not in the same architectural grandeur. As
It's
the-
also 2.5 miles away.
Yeah.
And then you've got Hanau Pavilion, which is about in the middle. So officially, these are the only 3 buildings that remain from. They were all 3 of them were built in 1891.
Okay.
Officially, the official story,
Yeah.
all 3 of them, and they are the only ones that still remain. When you look at it, those are the only ones that remain. So this is what it looks like now. Now is it?
No, because one
No.
of these wings is
Oh
completely
yeah,
gone.
so
yeah.
this is like I tried to basically just find it through the ages because I was trying to find some of the other buildings of the because I found more pictures that are later on,
Yeah.
didn't I? So I was trying to find where they were.
But it's good to have a good mix of it.
So
'cause
this
then-
was from the same set of photos. So this was actually in 1891. what
Yeah,
it
so
looked
this
like.
would have been look all the statues and shit here. Look, you've got a fucking emblem on here and the top door. Obviously, the clock tower's present, flags, all this shit's ready to go. None of this was here when we went there. So yeah, I mean,
And
look at
again,
this.
that's what it looked like.
Mental. All temporary, guys. Fucking look at this.
Yeah. So that's the one that looks the most like and that's the inside.
This is the inside.
This is that's got
so
the
yeah,
dates on it.
1791 to 1891.
Yeah, which I found interesting because it kind of links in. I know it was the sort of the centennial that
Yeah.
it was built for, but I just found it interesting that they put those dates on the building.
Yeah. So it's prominent. And this is the inside of it previously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was before it burnt down.
Yeah.
And the next one, I just, oh, poor
Again,
thing. That's what happened.
Somebody tossed a match. Oh yeah, so here we go.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like.
This is
now.
what it's
Well,
currently
after.
like. So this wing's
They're rebuilding
completely
it now.
fucking gone.
Interestingly enough, as well, I didn't save the pictures stupidly, but when I was looking at the sort of reconstruction of it, they have dug down to at least 12 foot underground as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's, hefty.
Yeah, so that's it. That's it now when they'd
Yeah.
put like a temporary.
So this
structure on
here
site.
is called
the electric fountain.
That's right, the electric fountain, guys. And all of this round here, when we went there, this was all cordoned off. They had like, you could see in it, but they had like builders' gates round it. They were doing loads of.
Yeah, we
fucking
couldn't get
work.
good pictures, so I just
No.
got that instead.
All this was just fucking covered in scaffolded here.
And the next image is from the World's Fair. This is what it looked like.
So
at
that is the
World's Fair.
electric fountain in front of the structure. Look. So when it was like in full swing, again, it's not a picture. Is it a photograph?
All the statues as well. I think
No,
it's
it's not
painting.
a photograph. Yeah, it's painting. Statues everywhere.
But there's no statues on it now.
No.
All that's gone.
So here we go.
Yeah, so this is how far away they are. So basically, what I was trying to prove, I guess, is that these buildings weren't constructed for the World's Fairs. These buildings were already here, but I think that there was a larger concentration of them.
Bar the tower.
Bar the tower. Well, we found a lot of things that looked like they could have been at the World's Fairs, but they weren't in the official site map area. So all this proves is that these buildings were everywhere, but I think a larger concentration was up at the top right, where there's now a lot of greenery, which doesn't look very green because it used to have buildings on it.
Yeah, you can see. Interesting.
Yeah, and the reason why they held the World's Fair in that area up at the top was because that was where most of the buildings were there, so they could tear them down afterwards.
I mean, look at the size of the area, look, for a World's Fair, look.
Yeah, it's 2.5 miles
Fucking-
approximately from the palace that we just shown you to the tower, which is at the bottom left. So this is the area that we were looking at. This is the map that we showed the information lady.
Right, yeah, that's a very
That
interesting
was
story.
hilarious.
Right, so yeah, this is on the right here is the, excuse me.
That was the only site map that I could find
Yeah.
originally until I went super digging.
So this is a site map of the World's Fair in 1891, right? Is it 1891?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then this is a modern Google shot of the bird's eye view. You can see the building here is obviously still there. This is the electric fountain, which is here. Obviously, it's different now, but you can see that this building here would have been somewhere over here.
Can I just pull you up on that date, 1891? So
Yes,
that means, are you saying that's 100 years after the initial first ever World Fair?
Yeah,
in
this was
Prague?
the centennial.
Yeah.
This
Right,
is what
okay.
I'm saying. I'm
got
sort
the date
of,
here,
I've
look,
come-
1891
I've
at the
come to
bottom.
the conclusion that it was possibly the 1791 was the beginning of the construction of these buildings in Prague. And by the time it got to 1891, they used the area where most of the buildings were as the World's Fair to then just to say they were temporary and take them down. But they are. We found we've got pictures of that tower and everything that
Yeah.
look like it should be on that site.
But you
and
can-
it's on a random side street in a residential area.
And you can see all of this, look, all of these were World's Fair exhibits, look, and there's just fucking nothing here now. And you think, look at the architecture of the buildings. Like, you would keep all this shit, wouldn't you? So, yeah, let's just talk about this site map. So, me and Becky, we went into, if you can see where the cursor is, this building here. I'll just get Cherie's coming off. This building here, which was a museum, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a
Little information centre
little
right next to
information
the palace thing.
on the area of on the site of the World's Fair, right? And bearing in mind they had information and history from 400, 500, 600 years ago. We went in there and asked them if they, without showing them this site map, we went and asked them if they knew anything about the World's Fair because we're looking for a bit more information.
The woman was easily in her 60s as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
weren't she?
yeah. And,
I thought,
you know,
good,
she
we've
was
not
a
got
local.
a youngster.
She was a local, and she didn't. You know, her English wasn't great, so she went and Becky showed her this site map on her phone, and she just didn't have a clue about it. Anyway, one of her friends was outside with her children, who spoke very good English, and she went and got her, and we sort of translated. She sort of translated to us. And we were asking about anything about the World's Fair, and she was saying no, but she doesn't have any information
She looked
about
so
it.
shocked. She was like, "Yeah, that's definitely here."
didn't know-
She recognised the
didn't-
map being the area that we were in, and she had
didn't
no
know
idea.
anything about it.
It's only
Didn't
131 years ago.
have no information, nothing, and they've got information from 400, 500, 600 years ago, but nothing from 1891 World's Fair, which was obviously a fucking huge event. You can
Yeah.
see from the scale of
What
the
about?
fucking size of it. Do you know what I mean?
Can I put a crazy theory on the
yeah,
table?
man, go.
What about if, like, the fact that we can look on Wikipedia and it says that all these world fairs happened in all these important sites, and in the main part of it, like at least 95% of it that you look at is actually artist renditions,
Yes,
or,
mate.
or,
yeah,
or
yeah.
these slightly sketchy photos that, as we know now, could quite easily be done on Al Gore.
Yeah.
Is it too far out to say that maybe, although not ruling out a World's Fair has ever happened, but the whole notion of these constant repeating World Fairs going on for hundreds of years is actually just like an ongoing like software program to, like you say, either cover up what's happened or to just to have an excuse for having these landmarks.
Yeah, explain away the
that they
destruction.
just can't get rid of without, you know, basically burning it down. 'Cause they
Or
can't- they can't
peasant
burn-
uproar.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
can't burn everything down. You can't just Mountain Dew everything. It doesn't work like that. It's got to be, you know, the totalitarian tiptoe, whatever, little by little. Not so much that it makes all the peasants go crazy.
Yeah, they rewrite history
Well, like
as well.
Becky mentioned earlier about Dresden, there was no World's Fair in Dresden, but you know, to tear some of that architecture down or get rid of it, they just fucking carpeted the place with bombs
Yeah.
during a war, which
Which
we all know was
also-
manufactured by the same party on both sides anyway.
Which also, I showed you, you hadn't actually looked at pictures of Kiev before, had you?
No, well, let's get to that. Careful now, careful. Let's not ruin the end. Anyway, let's.
I've not got pictures of it. I've not
It's a
put
good
that in.
point, Lance.
I was
that you
supposed to
made that.
talk about that in the wars and destruction
That's
bit
all right,
everywhere.
that's all right. No, we
with
can
Dresden.
go on to that. Let's just continue with Prague.
Yeah. So the next one, this is one from 1891. That
So
I'm
this
to
is
find.
again an 1891, the same World's Fair site map as this, but obviously a different
More
kind of
detailed.
version. More detail. It's got names, buildings. Now we actually had a little rabbit hole into this, didn't we?
Yeah, because I've found a lot of photographs
Yeah.
of the from 1891 of the actual buildings and what they were apparently used for.
So-
So we were looking around at this map,
Yeah.
trying to match up
Work out
the
what was what.
pictures to the buildings, where they were, and then I was trying to find where they were on the map now. So this one's from 1908, and you can see the difference.
So this is another World's Fair, yeah, in 1908. So the previous one was 1891.
I'm not even sure whether this is a World's
So
Fair. It's
1908.
I just found a map.
This was
of
late,
1908.
late in the
Oh right,
day.
okay.
Yeah,
so this is just a
I'm not-
geographical map.
I can't recheck. So
Yeah. Okay.
I
So this,
literally.
so ladies and gentlemen, this might not be a World's Fair map, but it's a map
the
of the same
same
area. 20 odd years later, basically. And as you can see, the big structure's still here. This is where the fountain is, and all of that. But a lot of this, look at this area here, is all
Gone.
different to what is on here.
And then you look up even further, and it's gone. Everything's gone.
Yeah, it's all just been wiped out.
So then the next one after that is a photograph of what it actually looked like.
Yeah.
So you can see the
A
big
live World's
entrance.
Fair.
Interesting that there's a big mobile oil
Yeah.
thing, sponsorship.
Yeah.
So you've got
Made it look tacky as fuck.
Yeah.
All this beautiful architecture and just
Well,
slap
that
the
sort
mobile oil.
of, that sort
Look
of
at the
makes
age of the
sense.
roofs.
Yeah.
Look at
This
the
is
weathering.
aged. Look at it.
Yeah, John Levi would say like those.
That does not look new.
Those
I'll
dirty
throw this
inheritors
out there.
that, like slaps their mobile oil sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, all over like the old world.
I'll throw this out there. Maybe this isn't even a photo from the World's Fair. Maybe this is a photo just from Prague.
Yeah, it could be. But this is this was the earliest photo that I could find of the area that still
Yeah.
had all of the buildings there.
And they've still got the trams running through, because when me and Becky
Yeah.
got here, we walked in from this side. This is gone, this bit here, but
I
this
guess
big
they just
building-
left up those temporary ornate towers.
Yeah.
So the next one,
So here we go. Yeah, this is the Google overhead shot with the. You've got the you've circled right. Okay, yeah, I know where you're at. Here.
yeah, scroll down.
Right.
Those are the ones that are still there.
So we went for a drink.
The
here.
official story: there are 3 buildings remaining from the World's Fair. Remember that?
Becky took this picture here on the left. Did you take the one on the right here?
Yep.
The top.
Yep.
Becky
All
took.
three.
Becky
Yeah,
took
yeah.
all three of these pictures. We sat here on these little pallet sofas having a cocktail, which was actually a really good cocktail. Wasn't
It was very good, yeah.
It was called a fancy drink. Becky ordered it was called fancy drink on the menu. She's like, "Yeah, I've got to have that just to see what it is." But yeah, so they've turned this World's Fair building into like a little bar.
It's the fact that they don't say that it's from the World's Fair.
No, there's nothing World's Fair related there whatsoever.
There's only 3 remaining buildings from the World's Fair.
So this is the same
According
building.
to Google, there are only 3 remaining, and I showed you those first. Those 3 remaining
Yeah.
buildings that are circled on the map, and
And so that's here.
There's those 3 there.
1, 2,
those are an
3.
extra 3.
Now this one's
And
interesting.
there's another one,
which is here on the map. Look,
Yeah.
this little T-shaped
which
building
apparently
here.
this doesn't exist either.
You can see the T, look, and they've appropriated these 2 sections on the side.
Yeah.
You can see this is the original
So
structure.
if you scroll down, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like.
So take note, ladies and gentlemen, of these sculptured faces here, like head and shoulder. They go all the way around the building, around the sides. Me and Becky walked up here and took pictures of all of this, and it's still there now.
Yeah, I've not got pictures of what it looks like now,
Right.
but there's trees all the way across. I didn't put the picture on because you couldn't even see the building.
No.
It's just covered in trees.
So Becky, this area here you've circled.
This is where we theorized the other building was.
Yeah. So let's just scroll
So
down.
this is where I'm trying to think. So if you scroll back up a little bit, that is the where is it? Go down,
one?
down a
Down.
tiny bit. It's the Prague, the central court showing the. It's just a pavilion. That's just a pavilion to the right of the Palace of Industry,
Right.
which is now no longer there.
This structure.
Yeah. Because you can see in the background of that picture as well, you can see what the other buildings
Yeah.
next to it and stuff. So that's
Yeah.
where I think that one went. A bit of digging, but the next one's the fun one.
Yes.
This is the
So this.
the
You go-
paper
yeah.
paper industry.
Yeah. So you see this lined piece here. We're saying that this was here, this building here, right? Currently, it's this. A big giant pyramid, right? And look at this, Lance. This was the exhibit, Egyptian exhibit.
No, it wasn't.
No?
It was the paper industry.
Oh yeah,
That's right, but
That
it
looks
was-
like
It's got
your
nothing to do with
standard-
Egypt.
No, but it
That
was
looks
an
like your standard paper factory. to me.
Egyptian themed building with obelisks and
It's just
Egyptian.
the paper industry pavilion. I don't know.
And so what they've done, they've torn that down, and modern now, which stands there now currently, is a giant fucking modern black pyramid.
Oh, if
So
that's not
weird.
if that's not evidence of a reset, I don't know what
That's
is.
on
so
the-
weird,
If
isn't
you
it?
look on the right-hand map here, it's where I'm circling with the cursor. That is where this little building here is. This is that there because we looked at the photos, didn't we?
Yeah.
And this little building here in the forefront, and this rooftop here, this pitched roof. Are these 2 little structures here? That's the pitched roof, and that's the little thing at the forefront, and that's the Egyptian paper company. Shout out to Dunder Mifflin. And then, yeah, they've built a fucking giant satanic pyramid there.
Yeah. That when we found that,
Yeah, it was
I
so
went on
fucking
Google
funny.
Earth and I was like, I wonder what's there now. And I ran into the room and
And
I was
it's
like,
a fucking
look
pyramid.
at this.
Yeah,
That temple looks like it's got like a Nephilim-sized door.
yeah, I know, mate. Look, mate, all
Yeah,
of it is
it's massive.
Nephilim sized. Look at the obelisks and shit they've got here. I mean, for a paper company,
That was probably just their garden shed.
yeah. So
And
that's
these are a few buildings that I couldn't find
So, yeah.
anywhere.
But just to
if
expand
you go
on
up a little
that,
bit, it says what it's for.
I've seen some of the other names of the buildings at these world fairs, and they always just sound off and wrong.
Yeah.
Like
Scroll down a little bit. So I can see
Chamber
which
of
one that
Eternal
is.
Commerce
No, up a
and
bit.
stuff like that, and it looks like a sports hall.
That's
or
the. We keep going past
Sorry,
it.
sorry.
It's the
Mouse is fucked.
Kingdom of Bohemia Parliament building.
Bohemia Parliament.
Yeah.
Look at a giant fucking phoenix up here. Look.
the Kingdom of Bohemia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
It's check.
yeah. What have we got there? The Iron Industry Pavilion.
Oh yeah, this is great. Look at this, the iron industry, Lance.
They built that for the iron
Yeah.
industry.
It looks like a castle.
But these are buildings that I couldn't find on the map. The next one as well. I
Surely
couldn't
they would appropriate a different building
Is
for
that
the iron.
is that
or
like
like,
is that a statue of a giraffe on the roof? in the middle.
No, I think that's a flagpole.
flag.
That's a flagpole. Yeah, I think it looks like a flagpole. Yeah.
Oh right.
I mean, you've got,
I've got low resolution
on my
you've got
tablet
the,
over it.
the Egyptian papyrus
But-
building. Why-
Lance, Becky made this point out, right? Look at the fucking effort put into the architecture. Whether it's temporary or not, let's leave that aside and let's just go with their bullshit narrative. This is temporary. This would have still taken a lot of time to erect and get right with all the intricacies, statues, all of that.
The statues were solid and they were always on,
It might-
on
So
the
they've
top
spent-
of the building.
They've spent all that money, all that time, probably got a load of research into architecture, and look, they haven't even paved the fucking road. Look at all the mud.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so bait.
Look at all the mud.
It's like imagine convincing peasants that you
And it doesn't look very new.
You temporarily built what is essentially like a massive new city of the best structures that anyone's ever seen. Much better than what they've got outside of here with their.
I mean, they haven't even done a boardwalk.
Yeah,
A lot of this as well. You've got all these solid statues, which we'll sort of get onto a little bit in a minute. What? Oh. But a lot of these buildings were apparently built with like linen and wood, and so
Yeah,
you're going to put a
plaster,
solid
linen and
statue
wood, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it.
on top of
Yeah,
something flimsy, as
Which is
fuck.
made out of like stone, like on something that's a bit of linen.
You're going to need something pretty sturdy to hold those statues up,
Yeah.
and the ones that are still there, they're perfect, aren't they?
So
The
going back,
buildings are absolutely perfect.
going back to this is what I was going to say. When we were sat in this bar, obviously, like we were both quite excited. Especially Becky, she's done a lot of research into World's Fairs. She was like, to be sitting in a World's Fair building and having a drink was quite cool. I went up to this building, right? None of this is fucking anything temporary about it. Right, it's got solid, like, stone bricks, like massive bricks. Like, it's all, like, proper cement. But there's nothing temporary about this building whatsoever.
No, also, just keep in your mind the way that those bricks are painted as well.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, sorry, we've got that. That was quite funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that remind you of anything?
Epstein's temple.
Wow. Michael.
Isn't that special blue?
No, it's not what I was referring to. I've got a few pictures later on. But it's just the style that it's painted in.
Yeah, just bear that in mind.
Just bear that in mind.
Okay.
We'll come back to that. Becky has got something at the end of this presentation which I don't even know about.
No.
So,
I've shown Lance already.
oh, you fucking
Show it to
Hey.
me. Nah.
Oh, that means I'm just going to get Michael.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Right, okay, so this is
that's
General Land Sentinel Exhibition, Prague, Iron Industry Building. Okay, so next up.
This is the bank building.
That's your bank there with your nice free energy spires.
It's like a spaceship.
I mean, it's just somewhat unnecessary.
Yeah, the next one's just the pavilion of the city of Prague. It's just a pavilion.
So what? That's for your
Of
like
the
your
city.
concerts and your balls.
I have no idea. It's
Dunno.
just a pavilion of the city
Got
of
all your
Prague.
chairs.
That's all it was
there.
called.
Got all your chairs out here.
So,
lined up.
but bearing in mind, I found all these pictures, and it's supposed to be a World's Fair. I'm not seeing any other countries being represented. Obviously, there's the Egypt thing, but that's just a paper
I
industry.
would have thought you would have seen more
You-
flags of different nations if it was a world's flag.
Yeah, or you'd have a building that was like the French pavilion.
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
this- All I can find is ones about Prague and Bohemia, which is
And
basically the same
Egypt.
thing. Yeah, but that's the paper industry.
yeah,
It's got nothing to do with Egypt.
no.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because isn't that like the sort of official idea of the World's Fair is you go there and it brings the world to you?
Yeah.
Allegedly, yeah. But I mean, is that bringing the world to you? Having a paper company in a fucking Egyptian castle?
It's just all
Like,
very weird.
No, yeah, it's just it doesn't make any rational sense.
No. So
Again, if this is a degree of mockery, then fair play to them. They've done it well.
It's like it's bringing a new world to like a mind of like a whole generation of peasants, like introducing a new world to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, here we go.
So this is what we're left with. This is the area. I sort of just zoomed in a little bit on
So
Google Earth.
this is a nice public park
Yeah.
for you to stroll through. As you can see, it's got nice green lawns everywhere.
Yeah, you can see where there were buildings before. So the next thing, where are we? Where's the university pictures? Hang on. Oh, they're kind of a little bit in the wrong order.
On here or on there?
Both.
That's all right. We're just talking about the university.
Yeah, well, basically, this outline, just forget the university for a minute, it's just that this has also got where it is. But all of the buildings that I've outlined there were all built after 1904, from what I can find, apart from the odd little thing that we found when we were walking around. So,
Which was nothing massively impressive. It
No.
was just little pockets.
little things we were like, hang on a minute,
That looks a bit
doesn't
weird.
look like everything else. That looks like where we've just been or where we're going to. So on the next one, this is one of the buildings that we found just down a side street on the right, and on the left is the building that was on the actual official World's Fair site, the one that apparently isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
So if you look at the
Which is still very
monogram-
much clearly there.
yeah, very similar monograms.
So you've got PO here, and this one's PM.
And also on the side of that building, it says 1848, even
Yes,
though
it
it says
does,
that
yeah.
all of these buildings were built in 1891.
There you go. And this one here, if you zoom in, that says 1888. There.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
all
1891.
before. This is what I'm saying. It's all
Yeah.
before 1891,
Yeah.
which is when you Google the Prague World's Fair, all of the buildings that they built for it were built in 1891, and that's it.
Which is clearly not.
It's not true.
I went into this area and took a picture of this of the lamppost here just because it was fucking magnificent, and we haven't got it in Schwab shape, but it's like just somewhat completely unnecessary for what we do today. Again, it's it's just all old. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, so this is in the same area. This is in the area that's outlined, and we were looking at a lot of the statues, and a lot of the statues look way older than the buildings.
Yeah.
So, okay, are we on? It's taking all my numbers off the thing, so I don't know where we're up to. So yeah, so basically, what the theory is, go back up. I've gone totally off my script, and I don't know where I am now.
It's okay.
Because we've got those videos that I needed to play. Yeah, we've got the bricks thing. We should have showed the teaser video earlier when we were still in the official World's Fair area.
That's all right. We can do the Schwab show and then do our little videos that we took at the end of it, maybe.
Right.
whenever
Okay.
you want.
So basically, I sort of thought that maybe they reclaimed a lot of the statues and stuff off the World's Fair buildings
That they tore down,
Yeah,
yeah.
and threw them up on the new stuff that they were building from 1904. And a lot of the other question was like, where was the rest of the buildings?
Yeah.
Basically.
Where did it all go?
Yeah. So if you can bring up video 2, but with no sound on it, do you know where that is?
No. Where's Lance gone?
I don't know. He left.
Hang on. That's
I
music.
don't know where he put them.
Oh, is it here? No, that's... Lance, if you're tuned in, mate, just come back to the studio.
We need videos.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, guys, look, you can, on this picture on the right here,
This
you
is
can
the same
see-
street.
Yeah, you can see the peasant new buildings that they've built here, and then look at this next to it on the right. Doesn't look anything like it. Do you want to go and grab Lance?
Yeah.
Or shall I go and grab Lance? He might be upstairs. But yeah, basically, ladies and gentlemen, there's none of this architecture makes any sense with the narrative that's being put out into the peasant sphere, especially with the dates and all of that. And I mean, they're saying these buildings don't even exist anymore, and we've physically been there, and they have. Oh, the general's here.
One, two, three there.
Okay.
Yeah, second one.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1.
No, 2.
That one.
Okay.
Doesn't need sound on it. Why is it black?
Hang on. Why is it black, Lance? Let's go on.
That's the video you sent me.
What?
Load it up again. That's very weird.
That is very weird. Oh, it's not working.
It's just coming out black.
There's something there in the back.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's weird.
Because Al Gore blocked it.
Down a hill.
There's video. There's the
I can bring
the
it up on
audio.
here.
Yeah, go on, and we'll just put it up against the
Yeah,
camera.
'cause it's on the brick.
Or send it to Lance on Messenger. Send it to Lance on Messenger.
All right.
That's really strange because
That's weird, man.
You could see the video in the thumbnail, but when we load it up, it was
Just goes black.
Basically black.
Fucking Blunt's poking down tonight.
Michael.
Michael.
There we go.
This one, yeah? There we go. Right. So, pause. Get that out of the way.
Yeah, we don't want sound on though.
No, that's cool.
It won't broadcast the sound.
Right, let's drag that into the Schwab show.
There you go.
So this was when we were coming back down the hill.
Yeah, we were just walking down, and we just thought it was fucking hot, and we were like, we'll just sit down and have a cigarette in the shade. We were just sitting on this little wall, and then we just
I
looked.
turned around and was like, the whole side of the thing is covered in bricks.
Becky said to me, she says, do these bricks look a bit weird? So here's the video, guys.
I think it's insane. As far as the eye can see, just broken buildings.
Oh, hang on, here we go.
So that's where the rest of the buildings are. And there was miles of it. It was insane.
It's fucking everywhere. Yeah, all down the hillside. And they're all sort of, they're not natural looking.
It's not like a load of loose stones on the side of a hill, is it?
No, they've just been thrown down the
No,
hill.
it's not gravel, mate.
But they were all square,
that's-
and they were all definitely building
Yeah.
blocks. But that kind of leads on to, the teaser video that we played the other week.
Yeah.
That was after we were in that area that we found all that.
Shall I play that video now?
That looks like a load of rubble from a demolished building.
It's
Yeah.
weird, right?
So I think they've salvaged the statues and all the cool shit to build the buildings from 1904 and tip the rest of it down a hill.
Down a fucking hill, yeah. Shall I get that out of the video up?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And I'll try and figure out where the rest
Number
of
one.
everything is. Yeah.
yeah, here you go. And we want volume for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no music on it though. It's just because I added an extra bit in.
Okay, so we've got volume. So this is Andy PG from Rise Above with Becky S Investigates. We're here in Prague on the site of the old World's Fair. So we're just having a little look around. So over in the distance there, you can see this tower. That's called the, what is it, Miss Becky?
Petrin Lookout Tower.
That's the Petrin Lookout Tower. All right, and we're probably a mile, maybe 1.2 miles away from that. And this is still the World's Fair grounds because that was part of the World's Fair. So this is absolutely enormous, the amount of ground. And if you look in between it, look at the amount of old world dome structures and spires and stuff like that. This is fucking insane. Got your solid marble steps here with your solid marble stonework, over here. I'm guessing that once upon a time when this was the World's Fair entrance, these would have had fire in it. So it'll be really impressive when you come up there. But yeah, all of this is like solid marble.
This
Right,
is
it's
the one
Andy
that we
PG
want
from
to
Rise Above. We're here in Prague. So we're at the World's Fair site, me and Becky S, and we found a giant metronome, and this is where a massive statue of Stalin used to be. So right here.
Built in
Huge
1955.
grand entrance, marble steps and everything. You have to come up to get up here, and all of these giant fire bowls and all of that stuff. And then you get up here. It's this really nice area, and then there's a skate park. So Becky S has just noticed that there's marble steps still leading down to the skate park. Yeah, marble steps to a skate park. Right, so we're still here cruising around this old world skate park, and Becky's just made a really cool observation. I'm going to hand it over to Becky S. Investigate.
So out of all the pictures that I've seen of all the world's fairs, you've always got a grand building and then you have wings with like atriums and things. So up there, you would have had the main building that you come up to, up those steps, and then you come down these steps into like possibly a dome above here, and then you would have east and west wing of atriums with the indoor garden, and these solid marble mushroom things would have been pillars, like solid marble pillars going up, holding the building.
And they've got on the other side here as well, for the other atrium.
A fountain or a big tree in the middle.
Rise above.
It looks like such a weird skate park.
Yeah, but I've tried to find any pictures of what was there before, and I can't find anything. But I mean, I had 2 weeks, not even that. So there might be some, but I couldn't find any. But that Stalin statue was built in 1955 and was torn down in 1962, from what I can remember.
Didn't last long.
No, fuck.
Lasted longer than the Greta statue.
Yeah, but that was also around the time. There's a lot of sort of communist places that were tearing these buildings down.
Yeah, for sure.
So that could have coincided with the destruction of that area.
It's a lot of destruction.
Yeah. So the next thing is the university, the Academy of Fine Arts. So I found at the top of the map where I'd outlined the new build areas from 1904. You don't have to go back. In amongst that, and we walked past it, we walked behind it, didn't we?
Yeah.
We were walking through the park area to try and get to the main World's Fair area, and we noticed the curved windows on the back.
Yeah, it was very Crystal Palace.
It was very Crystal Palace. I looked up, I was like, look at those fucking
Yeah,
windows.
straight away, Becky saw it.
And so I looked it up on Google, and it said it was built in 1799. So 8 years after the first World's Fair.
Yeah.
In 1791.
Allegedly.
So this again ties into what I was thinking with that was the beginning of these buildings being built in the 1790s. Because if you look at the old picture that is there, the old artist rendition, there is nothing in front of it.
No.
So the area that they built this residential area on, there was nothing. It was just parks and open spaces. So I think they've turned what was where the buildings were into parks and open spaces, and built.
Again, look at
the
this.
parks and open
Look at the
spaces.
size of this structure, and look, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, well, this
11,
would have been painted
maybe
years
15
later.
peasants there. Like, there's fucking no one here
There's definitely not enough people to warrant,
to warrant
building
that.
those type of buildings.
Right. Look, they put some tacky windsock on it here, look, or some shit.
If you go to the next one, that's that's the back of it now. That's what we took. That's you up that hill. That's how far up that hill it was.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And then just as I was
A
looking,
lot of mud under here, guys.
yeah, just after I'd looked at the possibility of the reclaiming the statues from the World's Fairs, I was looking for photographs of the Academy of Fine Arts, and I found that. And I just thought it was really weird.
Random fucking statues just like plonked in the fucking back alley.
I know it's the
back
Academy of Fine
university.
Arts, and artists are weird,
But I mean, look,
but that's weird.
this isn't, again, guys, this is the back of it. This isn't somewhere where the peasants walk through to showcase artwork.
No, and it's up a massive hill at the back, and look how far down it goes.
Yeah. Becky's
you've
taking a
got
picture
steps
of me, taking a picture of the windows here.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So there's a massive bank going up to it, and then it drops down again.
A lot of mud.
Just weird. Just another interesting tidbit.
Something else that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the mouse has gone fucking AWOL again.
So then after that, I just thought I'll have a look around because I remember seeing those bricks. That was after we'd come out of the castle.
So, Lance, did you remember earlier when we said when we were having a drink in the World's Fair building bar, we said, look at the way the bricks are painted, the building's painted.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This is when I showed you the map where you've got the 3 areas circled, the 3 remaining buildings, this is sort of about 2/3 of the way to the left of the rightmost building, like where those buildings were where we had the cocktails.
Yeah.
It's about 2/3 of the way across the map. So that's just outside Prague Castle. But also, these buildings had a lot of the monograms on as well, didn't they? Mm-hmm. So not only were they painted very similar, even the intricacy of the top part, not just the brick.
It's the same fucking
it's the
buildings,
same
guys.
buildings.
There's no question about it. We've been there. We've physically been there.
Oh, this is a good one. I mean, these are ones I found myself. These aren't in the competition. So
These are home farmed.
These are home farm. I know that I've showed the 2030 food pyramid before, but I thought I'd show it again just 'cause it's so good. Like right at the bottom, all the most basic peasants will only be able to have microplastics. That is your standard daily
issue,
intake,
standard issue.
just microplastics. If you're lucky, you'll get seed oil. Okay.
To fry up your microplastics.
For the mercantile sort of aristocracy, bugs will be on the menu.
Oh,
because
for
that's
sure.
Real protein.
Yeah.
But you know, you've really got to earn. You're basically in sort of like the 95 plus on your Schwabian crypto score out of 100 to get bugs. The quarters,
the upper echelons, they're getting soy milk by the looks of it.
Yeah,
so the next
reconstituted
level
soy
up,
milk.
you're getting reconstituted soy milk.
Yeah, and people at the top of the pyramid, they're just quaffing antidepressants all day. Right, okay, but seriously, on the left, from the Daily Mail, from the 13th of March, which I believe was Monday, a new smart Band-Aid that heals wounds 33% faster than traditional bandages. It's only 30%, but they hit the 3. It does it by delivering an electric signals to the body. That sounds good, doesn't it?
This is close to what we saw years ago. But patency from the
but wait,
wait,
you haven't read the small print over, Pete. This small device features electrodes and an energy harvesting coil.
No,
yeah, look, and sensors. So this is
so it's a mobile energy harvesting.
Well, it's a
coil.
micro energy harvesting. So
Nice.
it's for peasant harvesting. It's your own personal energy harvesting device.
Nice.
Like, yeah, like, so what you
So
want
the next phase on from this is like, does this link up to your Neuralink? Or does it clip in or something? Can you? How does it?
No, this is a standalone peasant harvesting device.
Right.
I believe.
I reckon this is the precursor to Health Chancellor Gates' little plan he had years ago.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. What was it? The
mining of.
I'm trying to remember the patent.
Yeah,
It was 2020-666, of course. No, we talked about this in whose show were we on the other week when we talked about this? Was it Amish Inquisition?
I think so. Yeah.
And
it
we
was either them
mentioned-
or Sheep Farm.
Yeah, because they were talking about some crazy patent. But yeah, so what was it? You sit there, you watch Clown.
You watch Clown World.
You absorb Clown World.
You absorb,
Advert specifically for Clown World companies.
right. So basically, you get replaced. You become this guy. Instead of being a meat suit, you actually become the content consuming entity. They turn you into this, and they just feed
For a
Clown
brief
World into
period.
it. And they extract some crypto shekels off it.
Directly from you. Yeah.
I think it's the next level of the content consuming entity is the meat suit.
So essentially, they're like
Filled with pink slime. Yeah, we're just going to fill
being
fill your meat
processed
suit
by
up
our
with this.
Amish community.
This
We're
is the
not far
problem.
away.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, within the trade union of the Ramish slime farmers, right, we've got some problems because look at the eco effects of the farmers. Their beards turn pink.
Yeah, magenta beards.
Yeah, so like the life cycle of a Ramish slime farmer, he only lives to about 55.
Well, it's hazardous material that's being pumped out, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to inhale.
Look at the yield as well. I mean, that's a good yield
don't
on
wanna-
it that he's got.
Like to be fair, he should be wearing a mask. Imagine the fumes of this stuff, like pure clown content.
But because they're the Ramish community, there's to wear a mask.
So how do they get
refusal.
it off their beards then? Because I noticed that there's a lot of them still walk around with pink beards afterwards.
Well, the beard actually acts as the mask, so it helps to filter the clown content from going in their mouth. But you
Sure.
can't wash it out. It doesn't. It stains your beard.
stains,
You've got to
yeah,
cut
yeah.
it off.
Yeah.
But obviously, it stained his hat as
Well,
well.
the Amish they're not going to cut their beards.
No.
I mean, obviously, they just walk around for a little while with pink.
Actually, in the Ramesh community, it's sort of like a sign of prestige because it means that you're handling the pink slime, so you've got a really important job. Because without this mean catalysation, the Ramesh people would basically be the same as NPCs.
So these guys are the people who look up to them. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's actually a status symbol as a Ramesh man to have the pink beard. Oh, I love what we do. Right, next.
Back to Clown World.
Back to Clown World. What? Like that wasn't a part of Clown World? No, the way of the Ramesh is your antidote to Clown World. Okay, so we've established that.
So you've got your mobile energy harvesting.
Your personal energy harvesting device. Each and every peasant will be fitted with one. I'll big up the Amish Inquisition. They're in the chat.
Oh, shout out, fellas.
Yeah, big up, boys. It was lovely to chat with you. We'll be getting you guys on soon.
So this, you keep on all the time, harvest your energy, sends it straight back to
Where's
Schwab.
it going? Because they're claiming that the energy that they're harvesting off the peasant is going back into like fixing you a little cut or
It's
something.
clearly not.
Imagine what? You've got Soviet Union's going to give you your own personal energy
downloaded.
harvesting device just so that you can heal a cut.
It's been downloaded by AIX. That's where it's going.
Here you go, peasant. You got a boo-boo. Here, have an energy harvesting device. Proper good.
So that'll be fed right back to them. They'll be taking data off of that.
Yeah, well, I think the clue is in the name.
I would say so.
They can't call it the data harvesting device, but I'm sure that's what it does as well. So, I mean, yeah, if it will link up to the 2030 food pyramid as well and tell you how many antidepressants you won't be allowed.
Hold it, let the caller speak up.
Welcome to Rise Above. Please don't say the C or the V word. What's your name, caller?
Monique.
Hi, Monique. How long have you been watching the show?
Ever since you started, really.
Awesome. Where are you calling from?
Sheffield.
Sheffield. Okay. What did you want to say to the audience live on Rise Above?
Well, I want to the conversation that you're having regarding, the swapping of roles, for men and women and such. I was born in '68. I've always considered myself to be quite a bit of a tomboy when I was young. I was always interested in technical stuff, even though I was born a woman. I think I don't really know how to put it into words at the moment, but I've always been quite aware of the fact that as I grew up, I was actually considering myself to be more of a masculine woman, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
I do think though that this whole LGBTQ agenda, the feminization of men and what have you, has been taken too far. The way that the agenda is rolling out. I think it's very dangerous. The way that they're trying to play us off. It's obviously weakening of the roles, so to speak.
Sure.
What we're talking about. In this conversation, I think it's really good to actually highlight it as well.
Yeah, and let me just interject. I think it's really important to point out that I don't think anyone here is trying to say that there is a problem with the fact that there are that some men are born with feminine characteristics and some women are born with masculine characteristics. There's no denying that, and no one is questioning whether that's okay or not. But obviously, the distinction is that there is a clear agenda to not only feminize men and masculize women. There is also an agenda to say that it's just not okay for them to be masculine men at all. And really also the same, that it's not okay to
toxic as fuck.
It's actually toxic to be a traditionally feminine woman that wants to say, well, the man is the head of the household, for instance, if that's your bag, and obviously we support everyone's choice here, but we're always talking about what the agenda is and what the aspects of that are. So you're seeing the same thing.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I'm fully on board with what you guys are talking about, and I can also see the danger in what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I've woken up to all this at quite an early age. To be honest, I've always been very aware of what's been going on, even though I didn't always voice it and stuff. But I've always been quite aware of what's been going on. I'm really enjoying your show, by the way. Like I said, I've been following it from the start when you guys were starting. I've been on every Friday, enjoying the deep dive. So keep it up.
Thank you very much. Can I just ask you a question based on what you've just told us?
Go ahead.
And if it's too direct and personal, just tell me. You've told me that you were born in, did you say 1968?
68, yeah.
68. And, you've told me a little bit about yourself. Now, you said that you've noticed the agenda. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that if you were born, let's say, 20, 30, or even 40 years later, right? Let's say you were born in 2008 and you grew up being a tomboy, being interested in more masculine things. Do you think you might have been pushed into taking puberty blockers or becoming, being said, maybe you should be a man? Do you think you might have been in danger of that? Because from what I've seen...
I don't think I would have let myself be led by that. I've got a strong enough mind to not allow myself to be led by that, even though, obviously because of my generation, when I was when I was still very young, obviously I wanted to be more masculine because that's how I felt at the time. But I've never wanted to be going down that road of using hormones in order to change sex as such.
Sure.
When I got into my puberty, I actually was very aware that my body was changing, and I actually have 2 grown-up daughters now. So I was very much in touch with my feminine side as well, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I think that's I'm very happy about it that I've kept in touch with that, even though I'm still quite masculine in some ways, because I enjoy technical stuff, things like that. So I can actually say I enjoy both sides of I try to keep it in balance, if you know what I mean.
Well, at the end of the day, we always say here it's all about balance and respecting that balance rather than trying to constantly polarize everything. But
I'm really enjoying listening to your shows, and I thought I'd pitch in a bit of that myself.
Monique, I'm really glad you've called in, because obviously, I'm not going to lie, on this show we've been very critical of the rainbow agenda. We've always tried to be very sensitive, because I know for a fact that we have gay and trans people that watch the show, right? So now the fact that you've called in where we've been talking about this, the masculization of women and the feminization of men, and you called in and you've told your story. So I just want to thank you for that. That's really useful for us, to have that sort of, that first hand account. So thank you.
You're very welcome. I've been following the whole thing. I've been down some really deep rabbit holes, and it took me quite some time to get back out of it as well. It's been pretty tough, to say the least.
Yeah, well, I think it's been a roller coaster for all of us, and and I know that.
Obviously, watching your shows on Friday nights, like most people who are in the same boat, so to speak, we've all got this community together to bounce off each other. I think it's really good, and it is important, to have people to talk to on the same wavelength, so to speak.
133%, and that's why we try to do customer services once a month now. It wasn't always so regular, but it's becoming more and more popular the more we're doing it, and having the phone line now so people can call in. And remember, if you're not from the UK, like our caller at the moment, you can call us on WhatsApp. Obviously you don't want to pay international calling fees. We are on Skype as well, guys. riseabovelivestream@gmail.com. It's the same as the email. This is why we do it, Monique. So again, thank you very much for calling in. That was a great addition to what we were talking about right here, right now, to be honest.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'll keep in touch. I might call in again sometime. But it's been lovely talking to you.
You're welcome to chat to us anytime you like. Like I say, we do this about once a month.
Definitely. I might have to start my own channel or something. I've been toying with the idea. It's just knowing where to start, really. But,
Well,
you know,
I'm thinking about doing a Raw Academy course on this for exactly people like this who want to literally start their podcast, start their social media channel. I was thinking about doing, maybe having a class for maybe 3 or 4 people, because it can't be for 20 or 30 people. It's quite, precise stuff. But yeah, send me an email. And I will do. If you want any pointers, if we can get a couple of other people and make it worth it to do it, then we'll do a Raw Academy.
I'm looking forward to the next show with the sheep farm guys as well, because I'm following them and following just about everyone else at the moment, because my mind is just really curious, to learn about this stuff.
Awesome. Yes, you can't go wrong with sheep farm.
No, I love listening to those guys. So, my hats off to them for all the hard work that they're doing.
Yeah, Chris's artwork is lovely. I really like his style. It's sort of like caricature-y, but it's also got that sort of like dirty, sketchy aesthetic about it as well. It's real nice.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, I'm gonna call off now. I'll be in touch.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks again, Monique. Take care.
And I'll keep watching your show as I'm online, and just keep watching you guys. Thank you very much for having me on.
No, thank you again. Take care.
Rise above.
Generate, rise above, extinguish fear, rise above.
Awesome.
Nice, very
Need to give
cool.
a big
so
shout
far.
out to Michelle.
Big up Monique.
Need to give a big shout out to Michelle in the US of A. She's bought a substantial package of merch.
Wow, that
I
is
think
a
we
substantial.
Can chuck in something free there, can't we?
Yeah, we can do.
send-
So we can do something for Michelle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Big up Michelle from the US.
And
She's paying 40 quid packaging.
And who
and
else?
shipping, so
Who
that's-
signed up to Patreon? We've had like
We've
3
got
or
another
4 new
peasant. I haven't been mentioning names for Patreon.
Remember the chat that we had with Sheep Farm on Tuesday, which was really spicy.
So shout out to Steve, he's our new Peasantron member, and Delta Dawn.
Peasantron is big shout out to Delta Dawn. Peasantron is a great way to support us because it's only a couple of quid a month, and you get exclusive content.
It's just for the hardcore Ramesh.
Just
really.
for the hardcore Ramesh, right? We've got a lot to cover. Actually, don't go anywhere, Brixton Jesus.
I'm signing up from me, bro.
Thank you very much. I just need to shout out to Baz, man. He's been smashing out the memes as always. I think this is one of his best ones. This meme is so good that someone actually used AI to get rid of the Rise Above logo up here, totally morph that out, and they got rid of Baz, man, here at the bottom. And we saw it reposted. Yeah, but Baz caught him. It was being reposted.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen this meme.
It's good. That's the Rebbe, isn't it?
Oh yeah, with the
Makalai Moshayev.
Malachi
Moshayev the third, or whatever he's called. Right, next subject. Obviously, this is one of the big subjects of the last 2 weeks. Let's call it peasant engineering.
Oh mate, they love it. Peasant engineering.
Peasant sky engineering. Right. So, the big subject. Because why are we talking about this? It's because of Dubai. So I think I mentioned this. Was it on the show, or maybe it was a sheep farm conversation?
Yeah, it was a sheep farm.
So when Dubai got hit with this massive storm, before it was officially announced or admitted,
when people swapped the camels for surfboards,
everyone in the rabbit sphere was saying, "Oh, they've over cloud seeded, they've over engineered it, and now they've got a massive storm and they've seriously fucked up." So what I've noticed is a massive. By the way, this meme is from Bob Moran, who used to do all of the mainstream newspapers before he got kicked out of the mainstream media during the Soviet Union for doing cartoons,
stuff like this,
cartoons that told the truth. What can we say? Yeah, basically, he got exiled from the mainstream for his cartoons that were just too truthful. Big up Bob Moran.
Do you know what, Lance? I've got a friend called Dan, who's an artist and illustrator, and he told me that that he linked up with a guy that got kicked out for that, and I think it might be the same guy. I'm gonna have to ask Dan about that. I'm gonna ask him if that and come back with you.
I'm pretty sure that Bob Moran was making stuff for not only like the Daily Mail, but also even the Telegraph. So the broadsheets and the tabloids. He was across the peasant sphere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
multi-genre peasant.
Big shout out to everyone scanning the QR code and signing up to our Patreon and getting the exclusive spicy content where we say all the naughty stuff that we can't say on here. Right, so cloud seeding, geoengineering
Doesn't even exist, Lance.
Can you get us another cider, please? Stratospheric aerosol peasant injection. Now, don't forget, until that last week, all of those things were officially pretty much tinfoil hat business. People will talk about chemtrails. If you're a bit more sophisticated, you would start to say, no, its real name is stratospheric aerosol injection, or geoengineering, or cloud seeding. Now, what have we got here? Cloud seeding is used around the world, not just in Dubai. So this is from the 18th of April. William Hunter. Looks like but this is who wrote it. We always check the names of the reporters or the people who penned the article, because it's probably not a person, it's an AI bot. So the US, China, Switzerland and Australia have implemented the weather modification system, and why it's controversial. How does cloud seeding work? This is the big thing now. People are writing letters to their MPs. Please stop peasant engineering my sky. It's like, this has been going on for decades. The MPs are still saying it doesn't happen. It's not real. The crisscross lines in the sky. They're not crop spraying. Not peasant. They're not spraying the peasants. Those are just normal plain lines. They're contrails. But the problem is now it's been openly admitted that geoengineering, cloud seeding, weather modification isn't a conspiracy theory. All those pages, hundreds and hundreds of pages of patents that the tinfoilers have been posting diligently every week. Look here, please look. Then no one's looking. No one looked. Everyone's, no, that's tinfoil. I can't look at that. But now that everyone's favourite desert NPC holiday destination is 6 feet deep in water, now, almost overnight, cloud seeding, geoengineering, stratospheric aerosol injection is of course. Of course it's real. What are you talking about? Has anyone noticed this? Comment section, show me some flames if you've noticed this thing. What have we got the comments here? Live on a Bike says they're trying to normalise it. Absolutely. They're not trying, they did. They normalised it with one event. Think about it. It was a polar event. What's the driest place in the world? The desert. Have a rainstorm there. Dubai. It's also the number one NPC rich person holiday destination. So we've got the meme on the right here, like Kermit the Frog is spray painting "Chemtrails Turn Me Gay" on a white picket fence. I like that. What are you saying, Mark? Did you notice this switch in the peasant consensus?
I also had to tap into the live chat and big up it, because a lot of people have been showing a lot of love in there, and I haven't been able to tap into it because I had to pay attention to what you guys are saying. So let me just say, big up Baz on the artistry. Baz is on levels. His memes just keep getting better and better, man.
I think this is probably one of his best.
A martial artist, bro.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Like, no, he's on smoke. Like, big up Baz on the memes. Big up Tara, big up Ash Young, and big up Richard Ryder as well. Now the thing with the geoengineering, we've had conversations, Lance, and you know that my thing more than
What's happened to Brooks and Jesus?
Anything is not going against anyone's new age ideals, nature, the universe, and the Most High settings. Whether you're religious or not, because I'm not religious, I'm a Rasta man. My thing is about nature and the elements. You understand? That's why I do what I do. That's why I live how I live. We know about the chemtrails. We've known for a while. We know about weather weapons. We know about HAARP. We know about the manipulation of the weather, various different things, the balloons, all sorts of things. Now, what starts happening in Dubai, which was nothing but a barren desert, and the Arab Emirates, a lot of it, yeah? When you start trying to build a metropolis in a barren desert, nature has a certain amount of wind, it has a certain amount of rain, it has a certain amount of thunder, it has a certain amount of sunshine. And this is a very delicate balance that makes sure that everywhere around the earth, yeah, everywhere that needs sun, rain, and all these elements gets it. When you start building a metropolis and you start populating that metropolis, now you need more elements from nature. But nature does not deviate from its plan that it's already got set. It only adapts to accommodate what it chooses to accommodate, which is things that fall within the natural realm. When you start artificially interfering with the balance of nature, you upset nature. You upset the balance. When you upset that delicate balance, you upset a lot of other things. Now, you see, because of what we've got going on in Dubai, I feel bad for a lot of the innocent people there who did not play a part in this. But that craziness that took place over there is now going to have a serious impact on, you know, the Great Migration?
Yeah.
Right. I know you guys will know it, but just for the guys, the people who may be watching that aren't familiar, watch the Great Migration, David Attenborough. Okay, it will show you how the process goes through annually and biannually, how the elephants follow the water, how that all transpires with the birds flying south for winter, how the wildebeest and the buffalo move as well, which affects how the predators move along with the prey. When you have interference in the natural order of things, it never ever ends well, and that's what we're seeing here now.
So that's why we're seeing like the flocks of birds just all dead on the floor, all the fish, the whales, the killer whales, like going into shallow waters and just like basically committing suicide.
It's been well documented that submarine radar has been throwing whales off of their natural migration for decades, since 1990s, not 1990s.
It doesn't take
since
like
the 20th century.
Like a Schwabian professor to work out that when things like dolphins and whales basically have sonar built into them, if you're pumping out sonar from
Your
like
ship's going to interfere with that.
Yeah, from like submarines and stuff like that. So okay, let's go a little bit deeper. Obviously now, because the lid's off of this, all of the research that people have been doing for years into the actual facts about geoengineering, etc., there's sort of been an explosion of it. So what have we got here from left to right? UK cloud seeding market analysis forecasts from the year 2024 to 2032.
Interesting choice of finishing number.
Cloud seeding market analysis, industry size, share research, report insights, Coviat, DIVIC 91 impact, statistics, trends, 2024 to 2032.
Or 322.
Just before the pivotal year of 2033. In the middle, effects of geoengineering.
Up, man.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, then you got 322.
You know that 2033 is going to be a massive year, like 100 years after 1933. Remember the first video which we've got on Pesantron is about the Christian Reich, which is a concept that Jason Archaics came up with, this new super radical type of Christian.
Highly offensive guys.
And basically I came across a couple of them on Facebook and had these mad interactions. This is all on Patreon. It's the first video.
We've got a video of one.
Oh yeah.
Should we get into it?
What?
No.
Let's
Stick
finish
to
this
peasant
off.
engineering.
Okay, yeah, we're only 1 hour 20 minutes into the show because we
It's only because you brought it up. That was a good segue.
No, don't worry. It'll be coming. So basically, this is from the 14th of March this year. This is before Dubai. It's in the Guardian. So this is, upper echelons of the peasant media. The effects of geoengineering must be urgently investigated, experts say. Impact on ecosystems must be predicted before technology is used, the US Atmospheric Scientists Agency chief says, 14th of March 2024, roughly 1 month before what happened in Dubai. Is this a foreshadowing?
Well,
and then, when's this from? The government's priority is and must be to tackle climate change at source by reducing emissions of greenhouse gases from human activities. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We've heard that before. We recognise, however, that a geoengineering might have a possible role to play in aiding our mitigation efforts in the future. This is from the UK Gov website. So we've got an admission that geoengineering can be used to fight climate change. We've got The Guardian 1 month before Dubai happens saying the effects of geoengineering need to be urgently investigated. We're in danger. And we've also got market-wide research projections from this year, 2024 to 2032, about the UK cloud seeding market analysis. So you'd have to be a serious, like, hyper peasantron retard to even try and attempt to say that those crisscross lines in the sky haven't got something to do with this.
The
You'd have to-
cognitive dissonance is real among the population, but you know what I'm noticing? I'm noticing people who didn't even want to acknowledge it, not really being able to deny it now. This is the point that we're at now. Because you see what's going on with those mad storms happening over in the Arab Emirates. Now people are starting to say, hey, look, like, yeah, they're controlling the weather, and we've been there the whole time, and you've been calling us crazy.
Yep.
All I'm saying is that, pardon me, I'm not accepting any apologies that don't come with a brown envelope now. You can apologize if you want to, but I'm not accepting it unless you hand me a brown envelope with something nice in there, mate.
it needs to be gifted as well.
Yeah. Pretty
No.
writing, a pretty, like, what's the word? Calligraphy.
Yeah, handwritten with a wax stamp with a special
with
apology.
a wax seal.
Now,
with a wax seal, because I'm a sovereign. Yeah.
Let's go a bit deeper still, right? On the subject of peasant engineering in the sky. Some excellent research has been done by some people, I guess, in the UK. They've come across this company called 2XL, which has multiple contracts for stratospheric aerosol injection. And they operate a number of not big aircraft. These are actually like pretty small aircraft. It says here, an innovation, aviation and aerospace services business, turning concepts into capabilities fast, delivering cutting edge value for money, contract air services, exploiting data to generate actionable insights. These guys have provably, on paper, got contracts to do stratospheric aerosol injection in the UK. Now, whether it's being used to cloud seed, whether it's being used to block out the sun, whether it's being used to
alkaline the soil,
whatever they claim is the point of geoengineering, combat climate change, this is the company, 2XL, that's actually doing it. I don't know where I got this from. Oh, it says Max Gill posted this. I screenshotted it off someone else. I'm not going to claim I found this out myself. That the OBE and the DFC, so these are like some sort of like, oh no, sorry, he's got an OBE, that's not his title. These two are the CEOs of the company. Guess what they used to do?
Well, I know this. You told me before the show.
They were pilots in the Red Arrows. Now, for anyone that's not in the UK, the Red Arrows in the UK are the most famous display planes. They're like fighter jets, and they do aerial displays where they paint multicoloured lines in the sky.
Aerial acrobatics, isn't it?
And peasants look up and go, "Whoa!" There's like red, blue, and white lines in the sky. That's what they do.
They do shapes and shit, hearts.
Yeah.
To be fair, that is pretty amazing stuff. I'm not going to take away from the skill set and the knowledge of these pilots. These pilots are highly educated people. They have to study a lot of physics.
Absolutely. If you want to glorify a death machine,
for where it's due.
if you want to glorify a death machine, then absolutely.
No, I'm not going to glorify a death machine, but everyone that flies an aircraft is a scientist. It doesn't matter. Like, and we're gonna separate that from whether they're on the right or wrong side of things.
Oh yeah, it takes a great amount of skill. I mean, I would assume that they probably have come from the RAF.
To be
They've both
a
got
Red
OBEs.
Arrows
Well, if
pilot,
they're
you can't
used
be
to
the
drawing
free
lines
pilot.
in the sky,
Yeah,
They're
but
then
elite
they're the
pilots.
best men for the job, clearly, aren't they?
Yeah,
But
they're
the
elite pilots. But what's
Yeah.
worrying is that these elite pilots are the ones that are perpetuating the agenda.
absolutely. But I think
That's the worrying part.
I totally agree. But I think something that's even more sinister is how much of a piss take it is that the actual people that own the company that are doing the crisscross white lines in the sky were the same guys that used to paint the multicoloured lines in the sky, and the peasants would point up and go, "Wow, look."
That is a slap in the face, and I 100% agree.
Yeah.
With you there. That is
For
a slap
sure.
in the face. I'm not glorifying anything. What I like to do is be objectively critical. And by being objectively critical, that means I like to give people the credit and respect that they are due.
Oh, we
For
do
being
that
in
as
the
well,
seat
for
of a
sure.
plane and being in control that you're due a certain amount of respect.
We say that about the darker cultists quite often, Mark. like,
Right.
we have to actually
Take
respect.
my hat off to them. Very intelligent.
Have
plan-
to, because the magic that they're working on the people. I mean, it doesn't work on us, but to be able to work it on the masses, that's some real craftsmanship, man.
No, absolutely.
If we could get a smidgen of that, we'd be set for life.
Absolutely. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, really and truly, I just want to try and find the best way to tap into that for myself, because we all have the capability to do so, and to help people tap into that for themselves, to make ourselves more free, you know? Because if we can all tap into that metaphysical power of manifestation and creation, we can all create great things for ourselves and free ourselves. So we do, to a certain degree, need to take a leaf out of their book, but I'm not glorifying them at all.
Oh
They
no,
are
I
doing this on
totally get
people.
what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. They are the living embodiment of
They are the
manifesting,
beast, which is
but
what we call them.
manifesting
are
what
the
they want to
beast.
do. But the problem is their intention is service to self rather than service to others.
100%.
Right. Okay. We have a caller. It's off a private number.
Let me mute my mic.
Good evening. You're live on the mic with Michael.
Rise above.
Yes, rise above. Who's this?
Big up, fellas. Ogden Munch. How you doing?
Oh,
You all right?
hello, mate. How are you? I thought it was someone dodgy, but it's you.
Ah,
Private
just
number.
private.
Big up,
Someone
Hog
dodgy,
Dan
mate,
Munch.
obviously. Come on.
Yes,
Give me
mate.
some credit.
Welcome back. How you doing, mate?
Oh, man, I've been up and down. All sorts going on. But I'm loving the guests tonight, loving Brixton, loving
Nice.
loving the topics. You know, I just want to point out, this sky's been bugging the shit out of me, to be honest, for a while now. Because we got a really good vantage point from our back window. I just want to dry my washing and that, and they just keep going up and painting the sky every morning and messing it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, even normies, I agree, are starting to see it now. Even then, they think, "What can we do about it?" They say, and all that sort of stuff. But they
Everyone's
just don't really
loving a
acknowledge
petition
it.
at the moment, aren't they?
The what?
A petition. They're
Oh
getting
yeah,
a
let's,
petition.
let's write a petition.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
I made a post on Facebook, Hogdan. Like, I was basically saying, people are such peasants now that people are already saying let's write a petition to MPs and local councillors to stop them painting lines in the sky. It's like these people have already lied to you.
Yeah.
How many times? And you think you're going to write them a letter? I was like,
Well,
guys,
I sent Andy PG on Skype, on your Skype, the link to the parliamentary debate, or one of them, on neo-engineering, as I call it.
We haven't actually
But,
got the tablet set up here for me to open that
Yeah.
right now.
It's literally it's one of the debates, and in that debate, if you scan through it, you probably can't be asked now; it's too long. They're actually trying to classify cloud seeding as not geoengineering because it's too localized.
right.
So they can just carry on doing it at will, but not regulate cloud seeding in that debate. So all the MPs know because they've been debating it in Parliament, for God's sake.
I honestly think that the cloud seeding as like what's the word, like a subgenre of this might be a bit of a red herring, because what I've seen from cloud seeding is they literally just like target a certain cloud, like there has to be a cloud there, and they'll fire something into it to agitate it, and then it rains. Whereas that's not really what we're talking about, is it? Because geoengineering just means engineering like the geosphere.
Yeah.
That just means changing the environment, basically, and that's so broad that I do think it's probably quite important to maybe draw a line between cloud seeding and geoengineering, because
They're not the same thing.
well, cloud seeding is a form of geoengineering.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
but geoengineering is much bigger than just cloud
clouds,
seeding.
yeah.
Is everyone with
That's
me?
basically what they're trying to do in the debate, but they're trying to sort of sweep the seeding bit under the rug.
Right.
So they can just start basically just keep spraying at will without regulating it.
But
the
why?
idea.
But if the normies read their peasant papers, right? The peasant papers have been telling people for over 10 years that Bill Gates wants to spray particulates into the atmosphere
And block out the
to
sun.
block the harmful rays of the sun, to slow down global warming and stop climate change, right?
It actually says that in that debate to stop man-made climate change. It says.
Well,
Fuckers.
I'll put £10,000 right now on the fact that when this fully is admitted, we have been spraying lines in the sky. That is what geoengineering is. They are 100% going to say That's what it is, because they've already been telling us.
Because they're saying that they spray ice crystals into clouds, which is bullshit. They spray in all sorts of stuff, heavy metals and all sorts of poisonous shit and toxins.
Plugging all the tree roots and killing all the
and
trees.
then alkalining all the soil so shit doesn't
You
grow.
see all
So
the
this has
trees
got multiple
snapping at the roots
reasons
out
for
of the
doing
ground
this.
now.
This is, you think if nobody can grow their own crops in years to come, and then it's going to be forced, like the state is going to have to do it artificially for everyone.
Well, that's what geoengineering is, isn't it? Because geoengineering is not just the sky. It's not just the air. It's not just the atmosphere.
The land.
The geology.
It's the air, the
the geosphere. It's everything. So if I was going to put like
the geoplane,
if I was going to put my proper tinfoil crown on, you know, obviously you want good advice, go to the World Health Organization. But if I was going to put a tinfoil crown on, I would honestly say that what is in those lines and what is coming down, and when it's particularly bad, it's scraped off cars. That's not just doing one thing.
No.
That's not just putting some. It's not just like metallizing the air so that the parasite frequency is stronger. It's not just blocking out the sun. It's not just poisoning us, probably administering 5 or 6 different agents to feminize. Yeah. You can see where this goes.
And poisoning Mother Gaia.
It's not just got. It's probably got smart dust in it as well.
Schwab dust for sure.
And it's probably poisoning the land. So this is what the crazy thing is. When that what they said it was Saharan dust. When it was over everyone's cars.
It's magnetic.
Right, in the summer last year.
Builder's sand, they said it was Saharan desert stuff.
People were going up
sand.
and like collecting it up. I was like, why would you go anywhere near that? Just instantly get it washed off your car and try not to inhale any of it.
Yeah.
Don't go up to it and start
like
scraping it up.
Sand, man. It was rank.
Someone's here. S. Smith is saying it's an Agent Orange cloud.
Yeah.
Esoteric Knight of Malta says it's a multi-platform delivery system. Absolutely, I think that's exactly what I'm saying. There's no way
guys,
that's just
can I
doing
get a
one
bit
thing.
deep here for a minute?
Absolutely,
right?
as long as you don't say any swear words.
Oh, well, mate, I know the alphabet. Chill, man. I've been here from the beginning. But anyway, as I was saying, this stuff it ain't just like you said. It ain't just chemicals and spraying. It's not even just wave tech. That's all involved. It's actually loosh and people.
What you
that
think?
make the weather as well. They're actually using people. They're using
Yes.
our loosh,
Yes,
which is why
Hogman.
they're publicising this so much now, where they're ramping it up.
Yes.
And they're actually using people.
You think there's powdered
There's
peasants in that
people that
dust?
actually sit there in groups, focusing on the weather to make the clouds come. Like you can do cloud busting,
Oh.
they do the opposite. And I can tell you that for a fact.
So you say
They've actually got people sitting there, like saying they have bloody the golden child.
like
Sitting there.
remote viewing, but like remote harping.
Yeah. Using loosh, using spiritual energy, mate.
Well, if this really is a holographic peasant sphere, and we are the divine spirit, each in our little meat suit avatar experiencing it, and we're much more powerful.
And that's what they've done Dubai and all that. Dubai ain't some accident, or they're doing all this shit now. Just like all the Mountain Dew shit with Hawaii and all that. They're only showing you what you want to see.
Of course.
What you've got to be asking yourself is what they actually really up to at the minute, because now this is in the forefront. Just like during the UK rain colours everywhere during the Coviet. You know what I'm saying? They're already doing the next thing already when the thing's in the public eye. So the question is, what the fuck are they really doing? That's what I want to know.
There were some people in my office the other day that were having some conversations that were on the borderline of being half aware of what the peasant sphere is. And they were talking about the weather and how can it be this bad for this long and so unpredictable. I said, do you remember in 2020? It was this time of year when we had like the sickest weather, unbroken bright sunshine every single day.
We had the real weather, brother, didn't we? It's beautiful, man.
For exactly
sunshine, blue sky.
exactly the same time that lockdown, when everyone was at home. I said, and they go, yeah, it wasn't that strange. I said, do you not think if the weather was like this, do you think people would have been quite as compliant? And they go, oh, no way, no. We were all loving it in the garden. And I was like, wow. I said, that was convenient, wasn't it? And they said, oh. and they didn't go, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, it was. Well, now, whether we like it or not, whatever we think is happening, the concept that the weather can be manipulated
is
now in the peasant sphere. And now that seed can grow into a
And they're
tree.
literally loosing off it, Lance.
Yeah, but they can
using that
steer it
power
now. Now it's out there. They can steer it how
Like,
they want.
The caller earlier on, Rob, and all respect to Rob, he seemed to think, oh, it's good, it's exposure. But when I said, is it exposure or is it normalisation? And what I meant by that is, this is something that Lee said when he was on the show in The Guardians. He said, you could call it the Great Awakening, or maybe it's the Dark Enlightenment. And I think what he meant by that was, there is a way to look at it where, if people are being shown that all of these things have been going on, weather manipulation, completely fake media, fake reality, actors in the mainstream, fake education, history resets, there is actually a way that could be weaponized and used against people. Because if you wake up certain people to it, but then other people sort of like have to accept it, but they carry on, yeah, that's like a dark enlightenment.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I always think that, like, when these things are being admitted and they're just being swallowed up by the average normie, and then they're carrying on. So that's now incorporated into their daily processing of what they call the
sleeper
world.
cells and copper tops, man. I'm telling you, they feed it.
Lance and Hogdan, can I speak on that?
Of course,
briefly?
go for it.
Yeah, bro.
All right, cool. First of all, I just want to say big up Hogdan Munch. Great to be able to speak to you directly, because I always, anytime I watch, I always bump into you in the chat, and you always, show me love. So
Yes,
big up to
brother.
yourself.
Just love the name, man. Love the name. It's awesome.
And I'm also Mark Antony. So anytime you see Mark Antony or Brixton Jesus, I'm him. I want to say this. This is very important, because everything that we're talking about is all interconnected, and we are aware that our negative energy, our sadness, depression, anger, rage, fear, hate, that is the leash they feed upon. Okay? And there's also the fact that we've known that they've been manipulating the weather for years. I would say I've known that they've been manipulating the weather for at least 17 to 18 years minimum. I know that I've known that for a fact. So I agree with Hogdan and you, Lance, that we have to look at this two ways. If they're telling not us, but if they're telling the general public now that didn't know before that this is what they're doing, we have to ask why. And we do have to ask if it is the normalization of it, which is also a softening up of the masses before implementing even more dark agendas. You understand what I'm saying? We know that this has been going on, but for the fact that they're admitting it to the general public, what else are they cooking up now? Because by the time they admit things to the general public, there's also other things they've been dealing with for 20, 30 years that the general public doesn't know. So I do want to big up Hogdan for pointing out the element that, yeah, they are harvesting our energy throughout this. You made a very pertinent point, Lance, by pointing out that while we have perfect weather, all these flipping lines were going on across the sky. And yes, it was convenient and it was a coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences, especially when we're dealing with entities that are very meticulous with their planning. So that's all I have to say.
No, for real.
Damn right, bro. Damn right. I just want to say, guys, there's a way we can fight back that's quite easy.
Go on.
As well. Basically, I don't know if you guys have ever done like sun gazing, where you look at the sun when it's rising and when it's setting and get your eyes accustomed. You actually stare at it. It's supposed to be good for your health and your hormones and all that. Well, actually, you can look at the sun or where the sun is and just diffuse your eyes, just relax, just look at the sun, focus on the sun, and you will draw the sun in. The sun will actually intensify and it actually comes out and you'll start breaking the clouds up, cloud busting in real time. And also you've got your internal sun as well.
I've heard of this, yeah.
If you just think of your internal sun and you're doing whatever practice that you do, breathing, meditation, anything you do, or just in your day, even walking around, it depends how much of an alchemist you are or how connected you are to source, but literally anyone can do it, man. You can literally just brighten up your internal sun. Like if you close your eyes, you're having a dream, you can make it bright in your eyes closed in a dark room. the light is there. The light was there long before there was a sun or a moon. You know, you can
The light
actually
is within us.
Yeah, you can literally intensify your internal sun, and that'll be reflected in the world. You'll see it. I can tell you this for a fact. I'll do it. I've been wanting to dry my washing, so I go out there and I just get the sun out and dry my washing, man. That's what I've been doing.
That's another thing.
My
In the
missus has
Guardian
literally seen the
said,
clouds freeze in the air. They're moving and they just stop. Like something's holding them and they just break up.
in the Guardian said when he was on the show, what about if there's not one sun? What about if there's 6 billion suns, 7 billion suns? We all have our own individual one, and it's just a collective consciousness that agrees that we all see the same sun in the sky. Very interesting. He said that actually.
I promise everyone's from experience I'm talking, man. I shit you not. Don't take my word for it. Just give it a go. And if not, you'll get some good hormone shit from the sun, so it's good for you.
Can't go wrong,
You know,
mate.
but-
Can't go wrong.
But you can literally focus on the sun and want the sun, and the sun will come.
I love that.
Listen,
And
you're
intensify.
right. The power of manifestation is real, and the most important part is that the more people wake up and the more people focused on one thing, the more effective it is. Because alchemy is a real thing, metaphysics is a real thing, the oneness among humanity is a real thing. And one thing that Divock showed us is that even though they outlawed it, when push comes to shove, humanity is going to do what humanity is going to do: form their villages and look after each other.
Yeah, that's the thing.
what they're gonna do.
I always said like Divock was a blessing in disguise. It was actually a great thing
Beautiful.
because it showed everyone who they truly were, and within a few very quick moments, whether in real life or online, you could see who everyone was in the center of Divock. You could see who you wanted on your team and who you didn't
It was
want.
so beautiful because it was almost like it was a great revealing.
Ooh.
We got Donna Harper.
Oh, you were saying, Brixton Jesus, we've got some feedback on you. I'm just going to pump you out and then put you back in again.
No problem.
No, mate, we've got a bit of weird sound coming from you.
Is that feedback you're getting from me?
Yeah, can you just reboot and rejoin us in a sec? We're actually about to have a little short break, so come back, Mark, and just go back into the green room because we've got some weird. Oh, yeah, he's frozen now. I'm just gonna remove you and then just rejoin, mate. Yeah, Hogdown Munch, you've come and dropped a couple of bombs there, actually.
Yeah,
haven't you?
mate, for
Fair
sure.
play.
Cloud
fair play.
busting.
Yeah, cloud busting.
Always a pleasure, guys. Always a pleasure to talk to you, gents, of course.
Absolutely.
Andy, I want to ask a quick question,
Yes,
bro.
mate.
We're seeing a shitload of ivy everywhere. It never used to exist up all the trees, bruv.
Right.
I googled it. Yeah, so the AI god
Yeah.
told us that it's all right 'cause it's got a separate root system and all that shit. But I don't buy it, man.
No.
You think there's something going on with that?
Well, ivy can self-seed. It depends what type of ivy it is. So I wouldn't say it's got its own root system. It can create its own root system. So I'd get that fucking shit out, mate.
It's everywhere, bruv. You look at all the trees, man. There's ivy just growing up and everywhere. All this extra moisture they're doing and the humidity.
Mate,
And stuff.
all the trees are really late this year as well. Down here, anyway, down this part of the country, all the leaves coming out super late because of all the rain that we've had. It's been a particularly wet winter, hasn't it, down here?
Mate, it feels like it's been raining for 6 months.
Yeah, like really,
so fat
really
'cause I
bad.
just can't go out skating. It's just so wet all the time.
So it might have something to do with it, mate. We don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, if they
noticed that,
keep
man.
spraying this shit into the sky, nothing's going to be able to grow.
I just think it's just trying to kill all the trees as well while they're at it.
Well, they're trying to poison the land as much as they can, because then you think about it. If their long-term goal is to get everyone into these smart cities and Schwab Tech and everyone at Neuralink and just be androgynous things living in pods, not working, then they want everyone to eat their food, don't they? The Monsanto grown fucking super Schwab digital crops
That's
that
how they're doing
that
it.
are just produced
You see
under.
all the farmers in the UK saying this is the worst winter spring for 65 years because it's just so wet. All the fields are waterlogged.
And you think
They
if they're
can't grow
blocking out the
anything.
sun, so they're just gonna like grow it all
It's
in
not
a
li-
warehouse under artificial lighting, and you know it's
Yeah,
gonna
no
be.
vitamin D
All
content.
those
Yeah,
people,
exactly. It's
those
never gonna see
people
the
that
sun.
said we were fearmongers a couple of years ago for saying start growing your own food. I think in a couple of years'
And
time.
then you've got all the farmers, instead of trying to grow some crops, like they're fucking protesting and
quite.
you know chucking
Yeah,
manure
it just don't
everywhere.
work, man. Best thing to do is just carry on, just ignore the fuckers. Anything they say, just ignore them, just get on with it.
Like in
That's what I
regards to the spreading the lines in the sky, man, it's the pilots. You need to reach the pilots. The dark occultists who want this done, they don't fly planes. They're not going to go and do it.
Yeah, but the
Problem is
pilots
it's not that many
probably
planes.
believe in climate change.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They
That's
think
what I
they're
mean.
doing good.
That's what I mean.
So
If
Pilots
you get
need
in a
properly
plane-
educated.
Sorry, guys. If you get in a plane, how long would it actually take to fly to like John O'Groats and back again? It's probably about 3 hours, if that. You only need a few planes. They go up and down, just paint the whole country, man. They're not
John
even
O'Groats-
passenger planes.
Yeah,
I saw
John-
like 2 jumbo jets, yeah, like Airbuses, I'd say, that sort of size, flying like a fighter squadron over my area the other day. They were literally in formation at almost the same altitude, in like a fighter wingman formation. You don't get passenger jets doing that shit.
No.
They've got like blue bodies. I don't know if anyone knows what airline it is. I don't think it's an airline. They've got dark blue bodies.
It's this one.
And,
it's
white
this
wings,
company
isn't it?
is 2XL.
Oh, we're still there.
Yeah, we're still here. That was just the sound of Mark coming back. He had some weird robot sound. He's back now. This is the company here, Hogdown. We exposed them earlier. The ex Red Arrows pilots that started the company, and they've got the contract for the.
I think it's
Even in their
military
logo,
people,
look,
mate.
to each other,
Military
spraying a
connection.
line in the sky.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
They're
look, it's in
telling
their
you-
fucking logo.
Look at this, top left, guys. They're telling you literally in the logo like that. Amazing.
It's
Should we have a little break?
Yeah, we're gonna have a
Just
break.
one last point, if I may, lad.
Go on,
Just
go on.
about like masculinity and all that kind of stuff earlier. Just a little joke I cracked at work today. I said I wanted to call HR up because I was just like I couldn't take it anymore. So I need some support.
Yeah,
Basically,
yeah.
I want to start a male, married, heterosexual, Christian, fathers, white privileged support group. So I just don't know how to deal with it, man.
Right wing bigot.
Yeah, I can't. I can't
Hey,
deal with my
listen,
white
listen.
privilege, man.
I'm all for it. I don't even want to join because it doesn't include me, but I want to donate.
You want to donate to support the cause?
Yeah, that's what I mean, man.
Is
It's
it, mate,
crap
to be
now.
honest, it's a needy cause.
Can I throw any more labels in there and identifications and bullshit? You know what I mean? For their PC,
the most marginalised group of
Frankfurt
the current
Ullmann.
zeitgeist.
I respect that it doesn't
Yeah.
include me, but I want to donate because I believe real talk. I believe everyone deserves their exclusive places.
It just cracks me up, man. I don't want none of that. I just take the piss, man. You know what I mean? I fuck all that labelling.
I'm
We're
dead serious.
one people under God, man. That's it. I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff.
All right.
Michael.
World. Well prepared to take off your tinfoil hat and join us at the next Rise Above Live in the Flesh Part 2 August Bank Holiday Hotel Weekender. With 3 days of engaging talks, panel discussions, interactive workshops, nightly after parties, speed dating, meet new friends, socialise, network and make connections from Bournemouth's golden sandy beaches. Located 10 minutes away from Bournemouth train station at the Celebrity Hotel, come and join us on the 22nd, 23rd and 24th of August, this bank holiday 2025, and get your tickets on our website today.
I filmed the video to "Don't Believe Me" right outside of that prison.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And in fact, what else was filmed there? Dungeon Master.
Dungeon Master. Yeah.
I love filming my videos around Gary Glitter. Yeah, 2 of my videos have been filmed right outside of Gary Glitter's house. But yeah, look, this is
So
crazy.
he's been is Gary Glitter thrown back in prison after using smartphone to ask about dark web?
This is the thing, right? When he was arrested, I believe, in Cambodia, in Chinooksville or Shook Town, as I called it. I went there where he was. I didn't go looking for him. It just happened to be there. And I'm not going to lie. Me and Dino, like, we heard about the district that he got caught in, and I was like, do you know what? Let's fucking just get a tuk-tuk and just get a tuk-tuk through there and see it.
Bit shady.
Mate, it was awful.
Yeah, no, I've heard it's
A
like
bit coarse.
the worst places you can go if you want to look at that sort of shit.
Well, it was
Like little
all.
boys and
Well, we just went through it. All you could see was these old guys with like little girls sat on the knees, and they all the little girls were doing balloons and stuff.
Yeah, it's
It was,
weird.
it was fucking dirty, mate. And this is where he got arrested. And then they took him to Portland, and he's been in there for how long? What?
16 years since halfway through a 16.
years.
So he's at 8
He was out
years.
for 38 days. And what I'm saying is, he was doing that shit in Southeast Asia for decades.
I'm sure
No
when he
one
was-
stopped him. Nowadays, he comes out of Portland.
I thought
mean,
when he was put in prison, they told he wasn't allowed to walk the streets of England again.
Well, he was. He walked straight out of Portland. He probably walked straight down Poole High Street when he got off the
Grabbed
bus.
the phone and fucking
Literally just down
started
here.
perving.
Bought a smartphone. But the point I'm trying to get to is that when he was doing whatever he was doing in Southeast Asia to those kids, he got away with it for years. But nowadays, as soon as he got on a smartphone and tried to access the dark web, that's how fucking dumb he is. He literally, apparently, well, according to this, he got on the phone and he was Googling how to get onto the dark web, as if they weren't going to be watching him.
Shady.
Yeah.
Same shit, different street.
If you scroll down, there's
Hang on, the mouse has gone fucked.
Oh God!
Yeah,
Right.
hang on. Whoa,
so
whoa, hang on.
the next thing is the last thing.
So I don't know about this.
No, you don't know about this.
Okay.
You
what
do
we
know.
got? What am I
You do
looking-
know the accident that I kept having. Right where we were, is at the bottom. The skate park.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where we were, and
Here.
yeah, and above that, we walked along that strip where the path in the middle is.
Yeah.
If you look at the other one below where there used to be a building, and yeah,
Here.
so that was where you were saying we were talking about the ages of the trees.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Because I was like, right, I need your tree knowledge here. How old are the trees in this area? And there were certain ones in straight lines going across bits of the area that were old enough to have been part of
The World's
the
Fair.
World's Fair, or
Yeah.
whatever
To
was
line
going
the
on at that-
walkways,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And then a lot of the other trees, they were
Just-
50, 60-year-old and really fast growing.
Yeah.
So they all looked very similar sizes, but some were much older.
It's like, and all the types of trees they had were specifically, it seemed like they were all, someone had picked deliberately fast growing trees.
Right.
Which might, again, just be because they want the trees to grow quick, but, you know, it was just another little.
It was the fact that there was the ones that were in line with how you would have laid it out back then. They were the old ones, weren't they?
Yeah.
So above that, you see that grey, sort of brown square.
Yeah.
It's like, is that what is that? And it's just where a building was. So I thought I'll go on Google Earth and I'll see what's around. And when I clicked on it, those lines at the top. You know, when I was trying to look for stuff on Google Earth, and I had a very big habit of ending up in a tunnel.
Yes. Yeah.
Those are all tunnels.
Underground tunnels.
Yeah.
Michael.
So, I did this quite a lot in the areas where the buildings should have been, and I found a lot of these tunnels.
No way.
Yeah. Which would have been underneath these old buildings that they've torn down. So, this then leads to something that I sent you the other day. So, if you want to go to video 3.
Hang on.
Have you lost it?
No, it's mouse is shady. Yeah.
You'll need sound on this one if you can.
The pneumatic tunnels of our hidden past. History tells us that these were nothing more than just small-scale plans that never really took off. But I think these were around a lot longer than we were told. And not only that, I believe they are still in operation to this day, used by the world elite. Not only just for quick and discreet transportation, but perhaps transportation of live goods and some other contraband. Just look at these old world pneumatic tunnels that they found. 100 years later beneath New York, they just found them like this and oh yeah, it was just an experiment. Was it really though? much of the truth that's hidden in plain sight they love to tell you. You can even see it mentioned in Ghostbusters. And just look at these, posts of them from the relics of the post office. This is one of the creepiest photos of the pneumatic systems. I mean, just look at that. If that doesn't spell out, you know what, I don't know what does. And again, in those photos, you can see the age of that technology. It doesn't look like some experiment. It looks like it's something much like airships that have been around for quite some time. And again, something that's probably still in operation today and in a much more sophisticated capacity. In fact, the only thing we really have ever been taught about pneumatic tubes are the banks and...
That's it. It cuts
Let me
off
tell
really
you.
bad.
Unbelievable.
Wow, Miss Becky.
So yeah, that's that.
There we go. Lance, what are you saying?
Well, the first thing I thought of when I saw that was like those tubes that you used to see in supermarkets back in the day, where they would fire the capsules of cash around.
That's where the technology came from.
Yeah, so like pneumatic tunnels. Now, then, if we think about if these world fairs have been happening in these major areas every decade since 1790, and you've literally just seen a clip of them putting kids into these like tunnel cars.
With your incubator babies and your orphan trains.
Because they've been repopulation centres.
Mate, potentially.
Or just pumping extra NPCs into the
There's
population.
so much that doesn't make any sense about it.
None of it
All
makes
I can
any sense.
categorically say is the official story is bullshit.
Ladies and gentlemen, what did you think of that presentation from the World's Fair? Yeah?
Yeah, because like I've never seen anything that like those cars before.
This is a holographic construct.
Thanks, Jason. No,
Why are you so quiet?
no, I'm just putting
He's just
it
thought he's
together
digesting
because,
the rabbit.
Yeah. So that kind of makes sense because you know they talk about the world elite having underground super speed high speed railways and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and the dumbs and stuff.
Yeah.
Gosh.
And constantly digging up underneath cities, finding extra tunnels, and it would just make sense that at one point that those were all in use for transporting people around, maybe for their pleasure to go to the World Fair, maybe not, maybe against their will, maybe that's maybe.
Well, where are you going to fucking
idea.
run? If you're in a tunnel.
But I just found it interesting that when I was looking at these tunnels, it was all along that top area, which is now just all where the buildings have gone from. So they would have been underneath the buildings that were there at the time when the tunnels were built.
Was there any?
And they've just been repurposed as roads. They've just been like refurbished, and now they're roads underneath.
Did Prague have any great fires in the last couple of 100 years that you know of?
That's one thing I've not looked up.
I'm sure
I was
you
going
would have
to.
heard about it.
There was so much to do.
Yeah, I bet.
People in the chat loving the presentation there, Becky. Yes.
Oh, thanks everybody.
Yeah. That
And
was
I think it's really great that you two obviously have taken the time to go there, get your feet on the ground, and actually like walk around. Because I was reposting a lot of the little clips you were sending me, and people were really enjoying it as well.
Mate, we're going to go to one a year at least.
Yeah.
Aren't we? We're going to go and visit fucking.
Especially now you know more about it.
Yeah. This is like, it's a massive rabbit hole. This is really, when you look right into it, it's so fucked up. And then it literally makes everything else link up from the world. So it's like Tartaria and the new technology, the suppression of free energy, like all of it. It's all there. And then you've got it ties into Jason Arquette. The only thing I'm questioning, right, check this out, Lance.
Okay.
Now, I'm not questioning Jason Archaix, but he says the resets, he says the next one is coming May 2040. So if he says that it's every 138 years, if we go...
I don't think this was a reset. I think it was possibly a war. Or
Yeah,
something,
potentially, yeah, absolutely. So he says, so if I get on my calculator 2040 up, and then I minus 138 years, so the previous reset was 1902. And then if you go another minus 138 years for the reset, that'd be 1764. So that... The 1850 mud flood doesn't fit into that. So either the date speculating.
1850 is kind of slap in between.
Yes, the
those two.
resets.
Yeah, when people talk about 1850, what they could be talking about is the 1850s period in between those two resets.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, potentially. Yeah.
When we could have seen.
So which was the one before that then?
1902. Before this one. So it goes 2040s. Allegedly, the coming next one.
Yeah.
Minus 138 years. That's 1902. Minus another 138. 1764.
Right.
Minus,
so 1764. If I was talking about the sort of 1790s. Could have been when things started building back up again.
when they're building the structures.
And good people took over.
Yeah.
And then something happened. There was possibly some kind of war or whichever, 1850-ish. And the mud floods weren't caused by some kind of just natural
Cataclysm.
disaster. It could have been some form of weapon, whether it was earthquake machines that caused liquefaction.
Or someone opened a can of Mountain Dew.
Whichever. That could have been a false reset, like they're trying to pull with 2030.
Yeah.
Because like
Not like
the
a
whole
natural disaster.
Yeah. They're trying to invoke
Yeah.
a reset.
the whole phenomenon of having things buried under mud isn't just like confined to like European or colonial cities like you've shown. It's the same thing with the Easter Island heads.
Yes, mate. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, for almost our
Like,
whole
why are they
life.
so? Why are they fucking buried?
Yeah, but how did no one notice until literally officially a couple of years ago? Because for our whole life, it was just like that.
The heads on Easter
that's the
Island.
head.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, oh no, shit! They go down like another 20 foot into the ground. That's
yeah,
just
they,
the head.
They call it, what do they call it? Like generational settlement, sediment or something like that. It's
That's a
like,
lot of
like
sediment.
I made a point in one of my sort of video that I will eventually do my channel again. By the way,
cool.
they always find a lot of these Roman mosaics under everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I had a Roman mosaic outside my front door, I'd give it a sweep every now and again.
Yeah, you wouldn't build something on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to put 6 foot of mud, just let it build up on top. Something happened all at once.
Yeah, I always
In
thought that funny.
one hit.
Yeah.
Because I remember at school we would always be taken to like on history trips to like an ancient Saxon site, and like beneath that you dig down. Oh, there's a Roman mosaic like 10 feet in the ground.
When
What?
we went to Corfe Castle, didn't we?
Yeah, that was a great rabbit.
Straight after
Fuck.
Prague.
Oh my days. The people in the information centre there must have gone home and got on the fucking. I got on the
Where's
computer.
my
I'm telling
footage,
you
guys?
that.
Did you take any footage?
Yeah,
we've
mate,
got
loads.
Gotta make a video. We'll
Yeah, I've got
upload it.
loads. We've got loads.
Right. So basically, the first question, I always think of really fun questions to ask people, and I didn't ask like, oh, is any of it buried?
Becky's
I
really
said-
good.
I
She
said,
goes
how
in.
much of it is buried?
She goes in very polite, right? Whereas
Yeah.
I'm just kind of all guns blazing, right, mate? Look
You
at this.
scare
This is
people.
fucking wrong. Like this is bullshit. Look at it. Whereas Becky asked them questions to me, they'd be like, oh, maybe.
Yeah. So I asked him. I said,
She
how,
dances around the rim of the rabbit hole.
I said,
stretching
how-
it.
Yeah,
I
she's
said,
like Al Gore.
how much of the castle is buried? And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, well, there's quite a few of your little information squares that say it was excavated, and you know you can see that there's some of it is
Fucking
buried under mud. I'm just wondering what happened as to have you done any ground penetrating radar surveys on it? And he said,
That's
didn't
what
he?
she asked the dude.
Good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said that they'd started doing them, and then just stopped for some reason,
Yeah.
which I thought was highly interesting.
You probably found something that didn't fit the.
They were
official
told to
peasant
stop. They
timeline.
were
They
told
were
to
told
stop. They were told to stop.
'Cause I
by
said-
and I asked by who, and they said the local authority.
Yeah. So
Local branch of the Smithsonian Museum.
Yeah.
I said, why does it all look like it slid down the hill? It's like, what do you mean? I said, well, it's like a
This was at the end of the day on a
Yeah.
Sunday as well. Like the guy was wanting to go
Wanted
home.
to go home and eat his cottage pie.
Yeah.
No, he was giving his
He
fully
was
automated response.
He was he was a full NPC regurgitating what he was taught in the history book.
And I said to him, it's like it just looks like a comedy explosion. Like all just looks like it's slid down the hill. I said, apart from there's like an archway and you can walk through it, and one half of the archway, literally, it looks like it's gone like that, like it's slid downhill. It's broken and it's moved away like that.
Mate, there's loads of footage, Lance.
The
I've got loads. Mate.
explanation for that is they put a gunpowder underneath it, and it went boop like that. Just went up.
It
and
looks
fell
like it's
back
been
down.
demolished before the
The whole-
invention of gunpowder.
Yeah. So yeah, none of it made any sense. But he said that they used so much gunpowder that they managed to explode gigantic sections of a castle
To lift a fucking
lifted
tower
it
off the ground, split it off the rest of
and
the stone
moved
and
it
lift it.
20 meters away down
No,
a hill. Right?
no.
It doesn't make any sense. So then we went to the church next door, didn't we?
Yeah. Well, not next door, like
well,
a fair bit away. Like, yeah.
If you had a exploding castle,
Yeah, there would be no buildings left
there would be
around it.
no church left next to it. And I was like, oh, I wonder what the history of this church is. I wonder if it had to be rebuilt after the Civil War, which is apparently when this castle exploded all over everywhere. Because if you had that much gunpowder to literally obliterate this solid castle, you would have had a lot of destruction around it.
Yeah, sure.
Bearing in mind they would have to get this, they would actually have to move this gunpowder into the area to do it, and they had horse and buggy. That would have probably caused some suspicion.
Yeah.
By the time they'd have got the amount they needed in there, like they would just been shoved by a fucking load of arrows and shit. If we're going by their narrative.
So can you remember what I found when I looked up the church stuff? Because I literally laughed out loud and it echoed around the fucking church.
Was it the about the bullets?
It was because I was trying to see whether it had, had any kind of restoration work, and apparently it got there was some light restoration after the Civil War because it had shot marks in it. Not massive boulders or anything
just
from the castle being
bullet holes,
exploded.
bullet chips.
Yeah. But it also underwent significant restoration in 1851 because the walls had bowed outwards.
Yeah.
And this church is it's high up, about 10
Yeah.
foot of mud up on the.
It's elevated.
Apparently, so much like the castle was like sliding down the hill. This church in 1851.
Like you have to walk upstairs.
I was like,
to get
no way.
so like around probably. You have to probably walk up 15 to 18 steps to get up to ground
Saying,
level
like,
of the
it could have
church.
been like full of mud and just burst out the
The-
side.
yeah,
100%. That's exactly
There's
what
been
I'm saying.
ground movement. So like it survived the castle being blown up next to it. It just had a few shot marks from people hiding in there and they were trying to shoot them. Apparently that was it. But then in 1851 all of a sudden the walls started bowing outwards.
Should we show a couple of more videos from Prague? As we got, it's only 10 to 12. If I just ping up a couple in Facebook, I wish maybe the cathedral.
I think what's quite interesting also is like right now, if you go and ask one of those people there that work for the National Trust, like you say, they basically don't know anything. But like soon, those people that don't even know anything, they're blatantly just going to be replaced with like a tablet from the National Trust that just reels off in an Al Gore voice the official line, and you'll be able to ask it questions, and it will just always tell you the same thing, sort of thing. You can see, those people are already ready to be replaced. Already.
So that you can't talk to them and question them.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to rabbit hole Al Gore on a tablet.
No, exactly. Yeah, you get told what
I'd ask
you're
him
to
some
believe,
very
and that's
interesting
it.
questions.
Yeah,
though.
you might be able to confuse him a little bit.
Yeah, he'd just be like, "Don't compute."
We'd just play my polite dumb self, which is what seems to work.
Right, let's have a look.
What, have you just sent the videos to your messenger?
Now to yours.
Yeah, to me, I mean.
Yes, mate. It's not.
You said it's only 10 to 12. I'm yawning my head off. That's used all of my
That's
brain.
right, we can finish at 12. It was
Yeah. There's just we got
all
your
of my brain
investigation tonight. No, I think you've done a wicked job, Becky. There was a lot of stuff in there, and obviously the bigger rabbit hole stretcher at the end to put together that tunnel network.
I nearly jumped up and down and then was like, oh no, I'm not going to tell Andy.
No, I'm glad. So this is the cathedral in Prague that we went to. And do you remember earlier we were talking about the spires with the free energy, and they look like kind of modern day electricity pylons, kind of stuff like that. Check this building out, mate. Hang on, wait, fuck. There's that one. There we go.
Boom! Look at that. What is that? The chamber of infinite energy
It's
harvesting.
just fucking immense, mate.
It looks like it was built by Clockwork Elves.
Look at all the spires.
Is it gold?
No, it's not gold. It's stone. Look at all the spires. That is so electricity-esque.
It looks like it.
John Levi calls it Antiquitect, doesn't he? That's what he calls it.
That whole building is a piece of Antiquitect.
Yeah, I know, mate. It's
not got Antiquitect on it. The building is Antiquitect.
I mean, look at it. It's fucking insane. So yeah, that was the. What else have we got here?
Because if you think about it, we've all seen those pictures, and I always talk about this of like the modern cities from an aerial view, and then you compare it to like a modern circuit board, right? And basically, it looks almost identical. Well, if you think about it, if you had a city full of buildings that look like that, and you looked at it, it would look like a steampunk circuit board, right?
I think that's where the steampunk has come. It's
Blatantly.
somewhere in the collective consciousness of remembering things like that. Like,
how long has steampunk been around as a thing? When did it start? Was it as early as the 60s or something, or was it as late as the 80s and 90s?
I have no idea.
I'm sure.
But
someone can help
I
us
do
on
think
that.
it's one of those sort of collective conscious memory things that keeps coming out.
Comes
Because
around.
apparently as well, there was, I think it was on that Stolen History documentary, they were talking about how fiction books didn't really come around until the 1850s.
That's right. Yeah. People just used to read, fact.
Yeah, because the world was wonderful as
you didn't need escapism. Yeah.
Well, I heard.
And
this,
now that's all we have.
I heard this thing that I'm pretty
Overload.
sure is in official peasant history, that before something like there was a monk in the 16 or 1700s. I can't remember his name. Someone can correct me on this, but he was the first person ever in sort of like Anglican history to be able to read something, but without saying it out loud as you were reading it, to read something but have it in your own head, like silently. Before that, no one could commonly do that. Everyone, the few people that could read would always have to pronounce out what they were reading. So it's like the whole, in official narrative history, the whole idea of being literate and reading, even just for leisure, I guess is actually pretty new. At least in this part of the world.
I've got another video here of when we were walking into the World's Fair site in Prague. Here we go. That's right, it's over here. There's no sound on this, but
Yeah, so all the like beautiful gardens and all that kind of stuff. Like everywhere else in Prague, I don't know if anybody in the chat who's been to Prague. Everywhere is beautiful. Like even crappy little side streets where we stopped for a cigarette by the river, and that
it's lovely,
that crackhead jumped in and the police ran after him. That was funny.
Check out Becky S's Facebook page for that reel.
Sorry,
just to butt in, you can see all the scaffolding here around.
Yeah.
Are they just maintaining those temporary buildings?
Yeah, you can see the trees on the next building, the arts centre. That's what it looks like now. You can't see any of the paintings on the front. All those
I've got the
you've
video.
got
I'll
the
send that
of-
video next.
Yeah, but you can't see it all. It's just so badly maintained. But where we were walking up those steps, with all the marble steps and everything, it's just been left to shit. They put skate parks up there so they attract teenagers
To get graffiti
to
and
get
stuff. It just looks like
and
a
it just
fucking
looks
shithole,
awful.
man.
They grow teenagers like fungus to promote like urban degeneration.
Yeah, they've just given them somewhere to
There's
ruin.
skateboards and graffiti.
Mate, I scored some weed off some dude as soon as we got there, right?
the
He was
first
sitting
person-
under a fucking Tartarian lamppost.
Really?
Yeah, mate. It was brilliant.
Nice.
It's the first. I
I
was like, I
got
can't
over-
believe you're
I got-
the first person, literally about
15 steps of
I
leaving the
was gonna
fucking
say,
hotel.
like, 20,
Honestly.
20 foot of the hotel door is like managed to get some weed. I'm like, how is this happening?
It finds me.
Skills of Andy PG.
Well, you know how it is, Lance.
Is that a picture of Kyle Green?
Here, that was right. So here we go. Do you remember I said earlier about the building that Becky showed with all the faces? This was us. We went right up next to it. As you can see,
It's so perfect.
in the map, right, the site map, these trees, right? I'm telling you now, these trees you'll see in a minute on the video. This line of trees they planted are so close to the buildings. It's blatantly to cover up what's there, right? It's like you
looks
wouldn't.
like that
We had
paper
to get in
factory.
amongst.
Yeah, in amongst it. Look, you can look how close it is. Like
We were
to
walking
see.
behind the trees
Look.
to get the footage.
And they've done a whole row of it all round the place.
You would never normally do that with a
No,
tree
look.
of that size because
No.
if it falls over, it's going to damage the building.
Yeah, and you can't when you're walking in, unless you go right up to it, like, you can't see.
But that's
anything.
really similar
So-
as well to that Schwarzenberg.
There
Palace,
is
which outside the
audio.
castle.
There is audio on this video. And I say that I don't know who these people are, but I'll speculate these might be the World's Fair controllers who are putting on. I don't know. There's no names or anything on these people's faces, but I thought it's so grand, and why are they covering it up? It's
They
weird.
got all the way around the building.
All
as
the
well.
way round, mate. All the way around the back. Yeah, it's really fucking odd. Actually, I've got a good...
It was so cool to see it though.
Yeah, it was amazing. And the fact that we could have a cocktail in a World's Fair building was pretty cool.
That made me happy.
Yeah, Becky was. Yeah, Becky likes
Also,
a
with this
cocktail.
kind of architecture in these buildings, unless you've sort of been there and stood underneath them, you can't really appreciate how like grand they are.
No.
Honestly, Lance, the cathedral that we just showed, right? I was fucking gobsmacked, wasn't I? I was
Yeah.
like actually speechless, which was somewhat of a first.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw some pretty impressive stuff in Mexico City last year.
The Mexican pyramids and stuff like that.
No, well, not just that. I mean, like the huge Tartarian style, like
Oh, right.
Romanesque
Yeah, for
buildings
sure.
in Mexico City, right in the center. It was like everything was massively huge, with huge open squares. It was, it was quite a sight to behold.
Breathtaking.
Yeah, breathtaking.
Here you go. Here's another one. So this is the back of the building. When we the previous video was when we walked in from the front. So this, if you see the cursor on the screen, behind this blue peasant building gate is the electric fountain. What's
That's
there?
why. This is why I had to use a different
So,
picture because you couldn't see any.
So
of it.
this is the back of the structure you just saw in the distance. Yeah.
Constantly re-schwabbing it with new scaffolding.
Yeah, and they've look. You see this here? They've taken a date or something off here. This was just completely bland. This little circle here, and if you look at previous pictures of it, it had a massive date on it.
It had a-
Look,
You
yeah,
and
the
that
finger. I fucking love my pointing finger on my
They
videos.
keep changing the date every 10 years for
and
the
they've
World Fair.
taken the clock tower off. Look,
Wow.
and this is an amphitheater now.
Which what?
They've turned
Oh,
it
yeah,
into
yeah,
an
it is,
amphitheater.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it is now. So also, I went online and all Miss Becky's hard work with her presentation and World's Fairness, I went online and got her a little present. So I'm not sure you'll be able to see it on the camera.
Did
We've
you not?
got-
You got a picture up of it the other day.
Actually, I have got a picture. I can do that. You hold it up at the camera there, and you can see.
I'll try.
Yeah, we'll see. You can see. It's from 1907. It's from the Missouri World's Fair, and it's a credit token, a full value credit token. Now, yeah, let's get this up. It's really cool. So let's get up the image because you can see it better. It needs to be cleaned up, but yeah, I mean it is from 1907.
That's a wicked present.
It's awesome. I'm so happy.
That's
Chat,
up,
you guys chat quickly.
that's up there with my my Al Gore Illuminati card and my Al Gore pin badge that I
Yeah.
get at Rise Above events. You've actually got a coin from the World Fair.
I
That
know,
was,
it's
that was
awesome.
probably paid. Like one NPC go in and put that into the machine, and they got a new like opinion and identity downloaded into their head. One coin. Did you have to look far to find that?
It wasn't that difficult. I wasn't initially looking for a coin. I just Googled 1800s World's Fair memorabilia, and that was one of the things. There's loads of stuff. Look, you can see it here, Lance, on the screen. Oh, just share the screen. Fuck it. Like, there's like pocket watches and... Oh, fuck, hang on. There we go. Yeah, look, there's like pocket watches, spoons, little... That's a game. That's nothing to do with it. There's imagery. What's this? Pro Chicago Royals. Metal makeup tin. There's a plate here. there's all sorts of commemorative plate. That's 1964 New York World's Fair. 1933, Lance.
Wow.
The Century of Progress Chicago World's Fair key.
That was
So
another
we
thing.
should so get you that.
You know the age that we're talking about. You know they call them certain things.
Yeah.
When the first World's Fairs were on, it was called the Age of Enlightenment.
Yeah. Here we go. Look,
Yeah,
here's a.
right.
This isn't the one I bought you, but here's something similar, and it's 1933. Token USA. This is a Florida one. So a Century of
You literally
Progress.
just showed me the picture of mine yesterday.
Yeah, no, I'll get
Where's
it up.
it gone?
I'll get it up. I didn't put in the same thing. I just put in
Alright, okay.
memorabilia. But yeah, I was just showing the kind of. There's loads of stuff there you can buy. It's all fucking quite fascinating.
Because even if we take some of the more bizarre and wild stuff off the table, like where did the incubator babies come from and all that kind of stuff, at the very least, what you've unveiled and sort of detailed here is like a cross-century plan of it. At the very least, that they're exhibits of the controllers and the moulders of society, whether they're covering up old stuff that's there, whether they're shaping a new future, whatever it is, it's a clear sign, even on a basic level of understanding, very high level social and anthropological engineering.
Yeah.
Engineering people, engineering populations, engineering societies.
And on a very basic level, just on the physical evidence, it makes no sense. The story that they're telling people of what
Yeah.
happened and how they did it and what it's lies.
Because from other researchers that sort of started looking at this at the start, I gathered like when they first came around, the way it's pitched is that they were like the ultimate leisure activity to go to here and see the best of the world, but in your country. And it seemed like people would have to come from far and wide, but back then, traveling wasn't easy.
No.
And
That's
so
what I'm saying, mate. They would have had to like stay in inns and hotels and stuff. Like, and then when they were around, like we said earlier in the video, it's 2.5 mile stretch of the grounds. So what, you're going to cover that in a day? So you're going to have to you're going to come for 3, 4, maybe 5 days, aren't you? So you're going to have to stay places. It's bullshit.
Last thing we couldn't get around just the whole World's Fair site.
No.
Like we did 60,000 steps in 2.5 days. Well, 2
Yeah.
days and 2 hours or something.
Yeah, that's right. We
It was
walked
insane.
fucking everywhere. Right, I'm gonna.
is it fair to say that like Disney World and that kind of thing is based on sort of like the World's Fair?
I think that there's a lot to do with kind of what do you call it, like theme parks and stuff that I want to look into as well. Because a lot of these sites were converted into theme parks. The Alton Towers stuff, that's one that I want to look into, because a lot of these places as well, they've got the tunnels. And they'll use them for rides and, like the little monorail stuff. Like they reuse all of this stuff.
Yeah, it's reappropriated.
Yeah. So changing it to a theme park is quite easy. Like the Alton Towers is mad. Like it really is mad. That's one thing that I want to look into.
Yeah, you've mentioned that to me a couple of times, haven't you? I'm just trying to find this. They've taken it offline. It's because I bought it and there was only one of the coins. But I'm seeing if it's on my email.
Oh, yeah, so it says something about a grand prize or something. I can't read it and it's too dark. But it's got
maybe
all of
that was
the
one token in the baby raffle.
yeah. Well, it's got all of the constellations around the outside. on the
Yeah,
back,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's got the
which is just weird.
like, why would you have all the star signs round the?
I think it's got a cooker in the middle of it.
Go to the World Fair and have your destiny decided.
Yeah, it's just weird though, man. Oh, I can't find. They've taken it offline, and they haven't. I haven't got like a close-up
Right. Well, it says
image of it.
Majestic Range.
Yeah.
Put the camera back on, Andy. So
Majestic Ranges, Mall East. No, hang on. Malleable and old style charcoal iron, and it's got an oven in the middle of it. and then it says World's Fair, St. Louis, Missouri. And it says Grand Prize Highest Award, and then on the back it's got like it says Good Luck.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it,
so was that
and then
something
it's
you
got
spend or
all the
something you
stuff.
win?
here we go.
This is a
Right.
token.
Hang on. Wait. So yeah, I've got it. Right. Okay, I've got it. I'll send that to Lance's. Here we go. Oh, it hasn't. I can't get the side with the constellations on, but I've got the other side so you can see it. It's quite cool. Here we go. Get that over there. Here we go. So that's it.
Is that the actual coin?
Yeah.
That's the actual coin. Yeah. So what does it say, Becky? It says around here, old.
Majestic Ranges,
Majestic
malleable and
range.
old style charcoal iron.
That's what it says at there, and it's got
And it's got a cooker in the
your
middle.
oven here, Louisiana, Missouri.
St. Louis.
Sorry, St. Louis, Missouri, World's Fair. Yeah, Grand Prize Award.
Grandmaster Ginny Award.
Grandmaster Ginny Award.
One child in the cooker for this token.
Well, mate, he's already got a baby Ernest.
He would have been the ringmaster at a World Fair, wouldn't he?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I was insistent that he was welcoming the peasants. It was,
That was another thing. When we were near the World's Fair, the area, you know,
Yeah.
and when we went a little bit further back towards the castle, I went on Google Maps and I just put palace in, didn't I?
Yes, yeah.
Do you remember how many there were?
There's
Just in the
mate.
tiny little area that was just like basically just kind of a residential
There's
area,
about-
but in the same place as all of these buildings were, rather than the ones that they'd put them down. There were 25 palaces.
Yeah.
Wow.
No
So
shit.
when I've thought about it, when I did my video on my channel, the ones that they kept, they were passed down to families, elite families that would have been trusted with keeping the secret of who built them, etc.
The
so
riders
all
of
these-
the reset.
Yeah. So there was basically, you know, your people who were trusted not to tell anybody. So there's 25 palaces within like a tiny little area. But
It's
they were all
mental.
the same age buildings. I'm like, how many palaces do you need on the same
Completely
street?
unnecessary.
Or maybe before the reset, everyone had a palace.
Yeah, that's it. Harnessing free energy from the ether.
And then afterwards, when the reset population were basically made to be peasants, you had to get rid of a lot of these palaces because you couldn't just explain them all. But you were still left with 25 anyway.
Yeah, it's mental. That's the like. I tried to cover everything, but
No, you've
it's-
done. You've done a
literally
wicked
every
job.
little
I-
subject
I said to
is like
Becky-
a 3-hour presentation on its own. So trying to pick a little bit of each thing
Look,
to
because
give an overview. is just
because Becky likes the World's Fair research. That's what I mean. We're going to go there. I said to her, I was like, we can just do a part 2, part 3, which just keep it going once we've got a bit more info.
Yeah, come
do
back.
another
come back
presentation.
come back and do more for sure.
We'll do some more boots on the ground research and check it out. And that,
Well, we're going to go
It's
to
awesome.
we're going to go to a Star Fort on Sunday, aren't we?
Yes, mate. We're going to go check out Fort Cumberland in Portsmouth, which
Rise
is a Star
Above
Fort.
and HR department and Becky S investigates.
cocktail bars.
Yeah, so we're going to do that on Sunday. There isn't going to be any Rise Above for the next 2 weeks. I've got mic duties. I've got to go and earn some,
Cratorial duties.
got to go and earn some money in Clown Worlds.
Yeah.
What am I meant to do on my Friday?
Sorry, guys, but when we come back on the 29th of September, we're going to have Ramesh Radio. We're going to have Sinstar Dread playing some breaks in the studio. Hopefully, we won't get a copyright strike this time. He's been preparing a wicked set, apparently. I've heard about half of
Shout
it
out
so
to
far.
Sinstar.
Big shout out to Sinstar. So, yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there. Big shout out to everyone for tuning in. It's been riseabove.tv on a Friday night. Thank you very much to Becky S for a very thorough and comprehensive investigation.
Excellent work.
Into not just Prague, but the whole concept and topic of World's Fairs.
Rise above, extinguish fear, rise above.
It is unfortunate that the priest class of the Black Cube organisation seem to predominantly hide behind the little hats of that faith. Because don't
With
forget,
cubes on their third eye.
but don't forget, there are little hats in the Islamic faith and little hats in the Catholic faith as well. So
Yeah.
it is very, very important to point out that this dark priest class that we speak of isn't actually really whoish. It has certainly hidden behind Judaism for a good number of centuries, and unfortunately, Talmudic Judaism does have certain racial supremacist aspects in it that we can't deny. And it is kind of unfortunate that we keep sloppily using the J word to describe this group of people.
Okay,
that
yeah.
maybe
I mean, we could use the Z word.
Maybe we should make a whole new word that describes
Okay, yeah,
this dark priest
we
class,
can
because
coin something
I
new.
honestly think
I
that-
personally like the Black Cube
Yeah,
organisation.
and
Lights, camera, action, that's it.